emotion.
What a moment!
From all the biggest games.
This is Sports Sound.
Oh, it's a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Another goal!
There's a choice of listing now for full commentary of Rangers against Aberdeen. Tune to BBC Radio Scotland on digital, Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave. And for open all mics, choose BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM. You are listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. We have got the team news from the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the top flight this afternoon. We heard there from Duncan Ferguson, his first game as Inverness Cali Thistle manager. A big afternoon ahead for him, no doubt at all about that. Let's then stay in the Championship and focus on the league leaders. Dundee United are at home to Queen's Park this afternoon. There for us, Chick Young.
Kenny, I'm just thinking to myself, incredible. 30 years since Duncan Ferguson left Tannadice to go on that incredible career that took him to Rangers and became a cult hero at Everton, Newcastle United. A lot of things have happened since then, and a lot of things have happened to Dundee United. They take on Queen's Park this afternoon. Dundee United top of the Championship, hoping of course to get it back to the big time. Queen's is 7th in position. I won't go through the teams, but let me tell you that Callum Ferry is back in goals for Queen's Park. Young, our 60-year-old Callum McKenna back on the bench. Couple of changes in the United team as well. Tony Watt leads the line up front, Fotheringham back the side, Meekers on the bench, and Louis Moult, who's become a bit of a cult figure as well here at Tannadice. He's out injured. We're getting under starters orders. Good crowd inside Tannadice for this, Kenny, and United determined to go all the way in terms of staying at the top of the Championship and get themselves back. It'll be interesting somewhere down the line when Duncan Ferguson and United come together.
Yeah, and we'll chat about Duncan Ferguson during Open All Mics. We'll get our pundits' thoughts on his return to Scottish football. We heard Amy Canavan's interview there with the new Inverness Cali Thistle manager. A good turnout there for him today, Amy?
It's a decent wee band of Inverness Cali Thistle fans. Kenny, yeah, you're right, good afternoon. I've got a sneaky suspicion, as you say, that this isn't going to be a quiet one on the touchline. I'm going to have to try and keep a wee eye on the touchline and on the action, just as Arbroath have had a relatively bright start, winning a corner out on the far side. But you know, Duncan Ferguson, as you say, chatted to him pre-match and he was in fine fettle, rearing to go. Can't quite remember, it seems, the hat-trick.
That's a goal!
Against Arbroath.
Yeah, sure.
I'll let you go,
It's a goal. It's a goal right in the opening seconds. It's for Queen's Park. It's Jack Thompson. Queen's got down the right-hand side. There was a great run by Barry Hepburn into the box, but he took away the defenders. It was cut back for Thompson, and he's delivered it beyond Jack Walton into United goal. We've only played a few seconds. It's Dundee United 0, Queen's Park 1.
An incredible start there.
Kenny doesn't jinx your fixture.
I didn't want to put the Mockers in one today, so I haven't told you what the game I would choose would be, but you'd have to say, Rory, some great games around the country this afternoon.
Oh yeah, thoroughly looking forward to this afternoon, hearing all the updates coming in. It's always good when you've got a full card on a Saturday. You do miss it a bit on the Sunday, however on the Saturday afternoon it's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to this one here. I think Dundee have got quite a lot about them in terms of how they've started the season. They've got goals from all over the pitch, which is important. I think if you've not got a 15-20 goal striker, which not many teams do, let's be honest, then it's important that you're contributing, and through the likes of McCowan, Cameron, Mulligan, Lammy at the back, Bakayoko and Rudden have got off the mark. Yeah, they've got goals in this team, so I'm looking forward to this one, Hibs against Dundee, that's for sure.
Big chance here for Rangers, Kenny. Big chance. It's been Aberdeen in the back foot. The ball's coming in from the wide area, and Dessers should do a lot better. Is he offside? He might have been offside. The flag might have went up. It would have been checked, but he's in through. It is a tight angle. He's tried to lift it over Kel Roos. He's put it well
onside,
over the
Willie.
bar.
He's well onside.
Is he onside?
Yeah, big chance as you described.
Huge.
Really poor finish. Gets it all
should.
wrong. He's got no idea what's round about him, because I think is it Seema coming in at the back area, could have squared it.
Right off his shin, wasn't it?
Yeah, really poor. Yeah,
Good,
I mean, you can
run.
perhaps account for it early on in the game when you're looking to try and find your touch, but in these games I don't think there've been an awful lot between Rangers and Aberdeen today.
A big game for both these sides today, Willie.
Huge game, yeah, huge game. Always is, Kenny, come on, you should know that.
It's a great fixture.
It is, yeah, a lot to play for the way Aberdeen have turned their season round a bit in terms of their performances, their organisation. I can see them again trying to make it really difficult, although that early chance, you know, it was poor defending from the Dons, but they have got the 5 at the back. They're not going with the 3, which they have done down here at Ibrox, and they've been torn apart, to be perfectly honest. They won't go that way. They've been building on that kind of making it really, really difficult for the opponents to score, and being a real threat on the break, and that's worked for them in the last 3 games, and it looks as though they've set up exactly the same way this afternoon. But a huge game for both clubs, and probably more for Rangers, is it not? You know, the way that game at Motherwell finished, quite incredible finish to that game. Rangers thinking that perhaps Celtic were going to drop points.
Yeah, it really was. The drama, the scenes at the end there, huge celebrations on the Celtic bench. The late show, beating Motherwell by 2-1. Chick brought us the first goal in the 3 o'clock kickoff. Jack Thompson for Queen's Park. They lead 1-0 away at Dundee United. The second goal has gone in Scotland. Scott Ross has put Peterhead 1-0 up against Elgin City. Let's then get to Billy Dodds. He is in Dingwall. I was at the Hearts Cup game midweek. Another manager feeling a lot of pressure, I think it's fair to say, Billy. Stephen Naismith, he really needed that win midweek, and they have now to kick on from that.
And they have done in this game. You can see how it's affected the confidence, Kenny, right away. They've had a bright start, most of the ball, County on the attack as we speak, but it's the first time they've been up the pitch. But you can see the confidence gathered from Hearts. They really are stroking it about. They are a back 3, they're getting plenty of the ball, and they're the better team so far.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Yeah, well, it was near this penalty claim. United think they've got a penalty kick. Is it what that went down inside the box? In any case, the referee's decided that well, not that it's a dive, although it had to be a dive for me if he's given a free kick to Queen's Park inside the box. So he clearly felt it wasn't a dive, but it wasn't a foul that way anyway. So off we go, restarted, still 1-0 to Queen's. Sorry, Billy, nice to see you back.
That's good to you, Charles. Some things never change, you still get mocked in the programme, eh?
Yeah, he gives us plenty of entertainment, no doubt about that. Derek Ferguson, what's happening?
Where have you been anyway for the last while? You've been away somewhere.
Derek, what's happening in your game, the early stages at Rugby Park?
A kind of feeling out process at the moment. Kilmarnock going 4-4-2, Cameron, Vassell up top, and you know how St Mirren line up, you know, once they've not got the ball, they're getting into that back 5, try to deal with Kennedy and Armstrong. Not a lot happening, got just moments ago. St Mirren just won their first corner kick, but it came to nothing. So the one thing, I'm glad that there's been a little bit of a downpour, Kenny, and I was just, you know, you hate these parts when it's kind of sticky, you know, and so, you know, I think that's the weather for the rest of the day. So hopefully a little bit of downpour, you can see the players enjoy it better, you know, a little bit of skid on the ball, you can ping it about, nothing worse than a sticky part. And you know, we spoke about it last week, you know, a little bit, you know, and initially I was in favour of the plastic pitches, but as I've got a little bit older, Kenny, no, I'm not having them.
Yeah, set that dreadful first half down there on Tuesday night, I have to say, far better in the second. Peterhead off an absolute flyer, now 2-0 up at home to Elgin City. Rory McAllister with the second goal there. What's happening just very early stages for you, Alan Preston, in Perth?
Well, for the booking already in the opening minute for Sven Sprangler off St Johnstone, just coming together on the far side, and the referee's already brandished the yellow card.
There was absolutely nothing in that, Alan. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you had seen it or not. I didn't want to come in, but there was minimal contact.
Our refereeing at the moment, the standard of refereeing is deplorable, and nothing happens.
Biscuits, let's go and watch some of the Italian football. It's some of the referees over there, it's horrendous.
I saw the one with your boy, the goal that got ruled out. Why on earth was that ruled out?
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been ruled out, but take away that, have you watched that referee for that whole 90 minutes, Kenny? He was all over the place. His decisions, he got every decision. I think he got them wrong, most of them. It was so, and we're quick to, you know, have a go and judge our referees. But I've seen some performances.
Has it not been better this season? We've not been speaking about VAR certainly as much this season.
Well, we certainly should after the game. I'm just Ibrox the other night. But that we should be speaking about VAR.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
That was an absolute shocker. And what happened? See, if you perform and perform poorly, as I thought Willie Collum did the other evening, I would get dropped if I'm a player. Nothing happens. He gets the game again today. There's nothing happens to them. It's not right. I get they've got to plan in advance and all the rest of it, but there has to be, when something as blatant as that, unless I think if you're a Rangers fan you don't think it's a foul, which is fine, it's your team, but to a man, I don't know anyone that didn't think that was
Biscuits,
a free kick, and then for VAR not to look at it.
Biscuits, I think it was a foul as well, but you know, I've seen in other games, you think the referee's going to blow it and they've let it go, so
but the irony
sometimes
was,
you go
guys,
for you, sometimes you don't.
The decisions last week in the St Mirren Hearts game, the St Mirren goal that was disallowed, that Mandaron was adjudged to have fouled Frankie Kent, I think it was, went to VAR and the goal was chopped off, both the referee and VAR, and there was no foul to be seen.
The sending off at Dens Park.
Sending off. Mulligan's not in the squad, so he's clearly, they think that's a red card.
It's a lack of explanation.
The communication.
The feeling is, Kenny, amongst the referees, that I know Fergie's saying that, and Alan's saying that get them dropped, and that's what would happen to players, and they're correct to say that, but the feeling is amongst the referees is there's not enough of them. You keep on dropping, there'll be none left.
But that's our best two, Dodgy, we had at Rangers the other night. If that's our best two,
just played devil's advocate, Albert. I'm with you.
And even Nick Walsh is up there, is classed as one of our best. He's been sat in a VAR room for the last
the thing is, Leanne, as well,
fixture rounds, League Cup and domestically today.
See if there is a law that is in there that we don't know about, that the one at St Mirren was a foul and the one at Ibrox wasn't a foul, then at least come out and explain it. But the fact that they don't communicate, and I don't mean straight after the game or anything like that, but I think it's only right that they communicate and say, well, this is how we reach this decision, even 2 lines, because it is so inconsistent, it's glaring.
But what I think, Rory's happened is that those decisions have been looked at from last weekend that were not fouls. Now, they're similar type incidents, but there's not the same level of pressure and force from the attacking player that's hunting down the ball. It's as if Willie
Sorry to interrupt you, Leanne, but Duncan Ferguson's got his first goal as a manager back in Scotland. It's a bit of a melee, as you can tell by sort of the surroundings around me. It's really quiet because nobody quite knew that the ball is snuck over. There's now flares on the far side from the Inverness Cali Thistle fans. I think that Louis Longstaff has just got the final touch to sneak it over the line. There was a little bit of a melee, as I say, a ball whipped in. Arbroath failed to deal with it. Derek Gaston doesn't get a good clasp on it, and it falls just about for Louis Longstaff to tip it over the line. Duncan Ferguson's Inverness Cali Thistle 1-0 up here at Gayfield.
Yeah, and that's against an Arbroath side that have been in a very, very good run of form. Billy, then, as a manager, when you're managing in the Championship, would you have wanted VAR in that league? Or from what you've seen, do you know when to do with it?
This season, definitely. Might have saved me. No, there was a few occasions where I wasn't happy, but in the main, you've got to respect the referees. But when they make decisions, I heard Alan on Wednesday night, and it seems to suit the bigger teams at times, that's the ones that infuriate you, because there are that it's so obvious at times, and then as the guys are saying in the radio here about there's no explanation sometimes. See, even if they come out and they admitted that, look, we might have got that one wrong, then you kind of understand a bit. But yeah, VAR would be great all over, but we just can't afford it.
Billy, who do you class as the bigger teams though? Because the decisions that I've looked at throughout this season, Kilmarnock have been punished, St Mirren have been punished, Motherwell have been punished. You're talking about in the Championship.
Dundee last week with that red card.
Dundee. I don't think this is an issue now that you're looking at going, there's a bit of pressure when you go to the big stadiums. This is across the board at times not good enough.
It should help at the big stadiums, I get that. But it didn't help Livingston on Wednesday.
We need to sort it out where either all the games have got VAR or none have got VAR. Make your mind up. I heard Malky Mackay saying Aberdeen should have had 2 players sent off. Well, if you had paid for VAR, they might have been sent off. You might have been in the semi-final of the Cup if Aberdeen had gone down to 9 men.
Oh, good save, David Marshall. Good save. Dundee have started so well here, and I think it's Luke McCowan who whips one in, and Zach Rudden's on the end of it. He heads it, and it's right at Marshall, to be fair, but he does react and save it. But very, very impressed with Dundee so far. It does remain 0-0 at the moment, but Dundee looking very, very good. Just on the one on Wednesday, Kenny, can I just say, I do have a little bit of sympathy for Willie Collins. See if there's an element of doubt in his mind that may not be a foul. Now, I know you need to referee the game and we don't want it re-refereed, but if he's looking at that going, I'm not actually 100% sure, I would put more of the emphasis on Nick Walsh. How he can look at that in the VAR room and not help Willie call him out I mean, it's so clear and obvious that it's a foul. You know, I think there's got to be shared blame. It can't just be Willie Collum on that occasion. I think Nick Walsh has got to take a degree of the stick as well.
Yeah, there have been so many occasions where it's been blatantly obvious that the referee should have been called over, and that hasn't happened. Just confirmation, Louis Longstaff with that goal for Cally Thistle on 10 minutes. Arbroath 0, Cally Thistle 1 in the English Premier League. Wolves have gone 1-0 up at home to Manchester City. Ruben Diaz with a goal on 30 minutes. You had a bad injury, it looked like there, Willie, at Ibrox.
It's a head knock, Kenny. Yeah, James McGrath. He looks okay. He's up. The doc and the physio have been on. They've had a real good look at him. He's back up on his feet. He's coming to the touchline, and he'll be okay to continue. So it's not as bad as what it first looked.
Yeah, just seeing a wee bit of blood there on the screen.
So will still get drug tested, Kenny?
Hopefully.
I think the referee should get drug tested then. He should bring something like that in.
Who's our best referee right now?
It's a dope test, isn't he?
Don Robertson. I like Don Robertson. I think he's good.
He lets the game flow, doesn't he?
And he's here today at Gayfield in the Championship.
Yeah.
And Nick Walsh, as I say, and he's in the VAR room.
Right, we'll take a wee break away from the football quickly and cross to Rome, the Ryder Cup, day 2 there. Brian McLaughlin is there for us. What's happening this afternoon, Brian?
Yeah, 9.5 to 2.5 so far, Kenny, for Team Europe, but it looks as if the USA team are certainly going to get a point back very shortly. They're 5 up with 5 to play. Sam Burns and Colin Morikawa against Victor Hovland and Ludwig Aberg. And Max Homa and Brian Harman have just gone 4 up against Tommy Fleetwood and Nikolai Højgaard. Good news for Scotland. Bob McIntyre and Justin Rose 1 up against Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. And the European team also up in the final match. Matt Fitzpatrick and Rory McIlroy 1 up against Patrick Cantley and Wyndham Clark. 11-5 is the record score after day 2 at the Ryder Cup. If it stays as it is at the moment, this would be a record score projected to be 11.5 to 4.5 for Team Europe, and it looks as if the Ryder Cup could be heading all the way back to Europe after losing it at Whistling Straits 2 years ago. Team Europe certainly in the ascendancy, 9.5 to 2.5.
Yeah, very much control ahead of the singles tomorrow. Regular updates from Brian throughout the afternoon. East Fife 1, Forfar 0, Alan Troughton on 13 minutes, and England at Newcastle United 1, Burnley 0, Miguel Almiron with a goal there on 14 minutes. Let's then get round the grounds again. Rangers against Aberdeen there for us. Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, it's pretty much one-way traffic. It's all about Rangers and what they can do with the ball. Aberdeen are more than happy at this moment in time. We have the 5 sitting at the back and the 4 in the midfield, and even Majowski's coming well back too into his own half to make it really difficult just to close the spaces down. Rangers have all of the ball, all of the possession. They've created a couple of little opportunities for themselves. I would hope that Aberdeen would have some kind of a plan to make it difficult at the other end of the park. Otherwise, I think certainly the Aberdeen crowd that are down here are going to get a little bit frustrated with it. As yet, Aberdeen have shown nothing as an attacking force, and Majowski's looking a very, very lonely figure up there. But Rangers really need to be a little bit more creative, but they're going to find that hard with the amount of players that Aberdeen have got back. Still 0-0.
What a save that is from Trevor Carson. Dylan Venti sneaks in at the back post. Paul Hanlon wins the initial header from a long Lewis Miller throw. It's poor defending. He runs off the back of him, he heads it, and it's a fantastic save at what looks like point blank range from Trevor Carson to keep it at 0-0.
Yeah, Hibs have been very good under the manager. Yep.
Looks like a handball. Well, that'll need to go to VAR. Leanne will probably have a little look at that. It's Vassell. Ball just comes over his shoulder. He gets a good touch, tries to flick it back, comes off the arm. I'm sure it comes off the arm. The arm's outstretched. You know, yeah, I'd love to see if it doesn't come off the arm. I think Vassell might have a little kind of half chance to get a shot away. I'm not so sure. Are they having a look at it or not? But we need something in this game, Kenny, because the two sides are so well drilled, so well organised, and it's going to take something like this, a mistake, certainly in the first half. I think the game will open up, will get a little bit better as we go on, maybe a few tired minds, tired legs, but at the moment, you know, we know what the two managers are like, you know, Derek and Stevie.
Yeah, I was down there, as I say, on Tuesday night, and the body language from Derek McInnes, after that defeat, he was absolutely devastated, and he spoke there about the late goals they've been losing, and the word that he used was naivety from his side.
Yeah, and I saw that, and he says that they should be more measured, but sometimes, you know, when sometimes you get a feel as a player when you know you've got a little opportunity, you can get the winner, and you know whether that's you getting a little bit excited or not, but it's not the way Derek operates. You know, I've seen him when he's, you know, when he's got a lead in a game going into the latter stages. You know, he holds on to it, doesn't he? He makes kind of, I wouldn't say negative, I wouldn't use that word, maybe negative, but he gets more solid and just sees out the game. I think that was a disappointment, because they felt getting into extra time they would have had that better opportunity, but I'm sure he's let the players know, but you can see it in both sides in the way they perform, the way they play, and I think there's been a VAR check and there is no penalty kick. It
wasn't
sure.
A great angle, Derek. It did look like it perhaps flicked off the arm, but just at times it's hard to tell
it's decent. It's decent play, Leanne, from Vassell, because he's having to stretch. He gets the touch. I think he takes another one, and then he just tries to flick it over the player's head, and the player, his hand goes above his head. It hits the arm. So you know, again, we've seen them given, but not today.
Not today, so that was a disappointment, a huge disappointment for Kilmarnock midweek in the League Cup, losing to Hearts. Hearts are away at Ross County this afternoon. There for us, Billy Dodds.
Yeah, and just as you come to me, Hearts have a free kick right in the edge of the box. This looks like two teams that have played a cup tie during the week. It's
that's brilliant! It's Lyons. He gets a brilliant block in. I think it's done, comes out, tries to clear his lines. The ball goes away up into the air. I don't know what the keeper's doing. The keeper should just come out, punch it. I think he tries to grab it, but Lyons, you know, he chases the block, it gets up above the keeper. You'll see it, guys, and he just knocks it into the back of the net. I tell you what, I say it would need a massive mistake, and that was.
What a chance for Rangers. Dessers again, he's got to put it into the back of the net. It's Ryan Jack with a lovely clip from the left hand side. He's totally free, he's left his marker. He's got to put it either side of Kel Roos. He doesn't, hits it at Roos. Decent save from Roos, but big chance. It should have been the first for Rangers.
Derek, I've got no idea what Hemming is doing. The ball's literally coming down with snow on it. The goalkeeper is by far the favourite as the two jump. He doesn't even outstretch his arms, Kenny. I don't know if you get a look at that as well. His arms are not above his head. I don't know what he's thinking.
And when you're coming out and you're not sure what's round about you, as a keeper, you just go up and you punch that. You clear your lines, and you know. But I
he's
tell
been
you what,
very good for them, though, hasn't he?
I tell you what, Kenny, Lyons is a brave lad, because he could have took an absolute sore one, and he was prepared to put his head in where it could get hurt. And he's
brave as a lion.
Good to have you back, Dodsey.
No, he does well, Derek. He closes it down, he gets the block initially, and the ball goes up in the air, and as you say, he could have come off with a right sore one, but he puts himself in. He's got belief he can go and get the contact, and he absolutely does.
Brad Lyons with the goal in 90 minutes, and Leanne Willie bringing his news there of another chance to Cyril Dessers, a player that just looks low in confidence. He should have done so much better.
He's got to do better. He needs to score. You know, he's in a brilliant area, the delivery's fantastic. Put it anywhere else in the goal and it's in the back of the net, but he somehow manages to find the keeper, and he seems to find those areas. But as you say, is it a confidence thing? Is it a belief? Is it? I'm not entirely sold on him, as we've discussed with a number of the Rangers signings in this recent transfer window. But Rangers, as Willie has mentioned, have dominated possession so far and look like the team in ascendancy.
Arsenal 1-0 up away at Bournemouth. Bukayo Saka with a goal there on 17 minutes. Let's then get to Alan Press, and he's at McDermott Parkston. Johnstone against Livingston. What's happening there, Alan?
Not much, to be honest, Kenny. Costello had a chance. It was on his weaker right foot. He dragged it wide of the target. Then a couple of minutes ago, it was a corner to Livingston, played in. Sangari with a header, it was blocked. Come back to Parks, and his effort blocked his way away for a corner. Not a lot of chances here. Midfield struggle just now. So we'll wait and see how it goes, but we're into the 19th minute and it's still 0-0.
So the latest scores: Hibs 0, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1, St Mirren 0. Brad Lyons with a goal on 90 minutes. Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0, Ross County 0, Hearts 0, St Johnstone 0, Livingston 0. The lunchtime kick-off, incredible drama at the end. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. That Celtic winner coming in the 97th minute. A really good finish from Matt O'Reilly there. In the Championship, Arbroath 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 1, Ayr United 0, Wraith Rovers 0, Dundee United 0, Queen's Park 1, Morton 0, Airdrie 0, Partick Thistle 1, Dunfermline 0. That goal has just gone in. Scott Robinson on 21 minutes. In League One, Alloa 0, Edinburgh City 0, Falkirk 0, Montrose 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Queen of the South 0. 5:30 kickoff, Stirling Albion at home to Cove Rangers. And in League Two this afternoon, Dumbarton 0, Stranraer 0, East Fife 1, Forfar 0, Peterhead 2, Elgin City 0, Spartans 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Stenhousemuir 0, Clyde 0. Bonnyrigg Rose scorer Ross Gray on 21 minutes. And in England, the lunchtime kickoff, an incredible scoreline. Aston Villa 6, Brighton 1.
Oh! Great play by St Johnstone. Carey to the byline. It's back to Jeffcott. He's about 5 yards out. You think he's just going to score, but there's bodies back in the line. He's got to score.
I don't know how Hibs haven't scored here, Leanne. Have a wee look. The ball comes in from Boyle. Johan was fouled on the far side, and Boyle puts a ball into the box. It comes back across goal, and it looks like Hanlon's got to tap it in, but he's already on the deck. I don't know if he's stretching, but it looked like a huge chance for Hibs.
Yeah, it's a bit of pinball, isn't it, inside the 6. Defensive header. He just loses his balance, Rory. Yeah, looks as if he's just going to put the ball in the back of the net. Don't know if his studs actually get caught in the turf, but he literally just falls over as he's about to make contact and can't get enough on it in the end.
Really good game this. It's nice and open, not too many chances, but it's very, very open. Hibs, they're playing a 4-4-2, but they've got Boyle and Johan playing really far up, and Diego and Newell both want to do the same thing and, you know, sit in front of the back four, and it's leaving big gaps in the middle of the pitch for Dundee to play through them at times. But then Hibs are so good on the counter-attack that it's making for a really good game. But although there should have been goals, it's still 0-0.
As I said, the lunchtime kick-off in England, Aston Villa 6, Brighton 1, Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 1, Everton 0, Luton 1. Luton have just gone ahead. Tom Lockyer with a goal on 24 minutes. Man United 0, Crystal Palace 0, Newcastle United 1, Burnley 0. West Ham United have just gone ahead. Jared Bowen on 24 minutes. They're 1-0 up on Sheffield United. Wolves 1, Manchester City 0. What a game at 5:30. Spurs at home to Liverpool. Let's then get into the Championship and a shot for the league leaders early doors there. Chick Young at Tannadice.
Yeah, Dundee United looking a little bit nervous, hesitant. The natives here getting a little bit restless with their team. Remember, Queen's Park are leading by 1-0. The goal from Jack Thompson in the first minute, and they're creating chances again. They've been caught in the ball of United a number of occasions. Tony Watt looks a little bit hesitant up front. He paused a couple of times and may have sniped a shot in. And Queen's Park are creating more opportunities, looking comfortable in this position. As I said, they are ahead by 1-0. Jack Thompson in the first minute.
And a dream start, Amy Canavan, for Duncan Ferguson there at Gayfield.
Absolutely is, Kenny, and it's been a bit of an open game, as Rory's has been at Easter Road. Just as Arbroath again are whipping in another corner. For Arbroath, it's just not quite clicking in the final third. They're working well down the flanks. Ryan Dow and Mikey McKenna have been pretty decent, but Jay Bird, the man in the middle, just hasn't quite been able to get on the end of anything just yet. And there's Mikey McKenna again doing so well, this time on the opposite flank, trying to test Billy Mackay, but David Carson will clear. It is the dream start, as you say, for Duncan Ferguson and Inverness Callie Thistle, and he will be really pleased with a lot of the play. Anne and Dora and Billy Mackay have looked decent as ever, as you would expect. But it is about 26 minutes played here, and Inverness Callie Thistle 1-0 up.
It's into the 26 minutes before there's been a chance here, Kenny. As I said to you, Hearts started well and then County grew into it, but it was like a really slow-paced game, as if there's a bit of tiredness from those cup ties we were alluding to during the week there. But there was a slack pass from Baldwin, and he gave it to, I think it was Denham, who picked up and he just drove through. Should have hit the target from about 20 yards, but blasted it over, and that's been the story of the game so far.
Wraith Rovers 1-0 up away Ayr United. Dylan Easton on 23 minutes. Stranraer 1-0 up away at Dumbarton. Ben Armour with the goal there. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. Joachim Anderson on 25 minutes. United behind today, Billy Dodge, but would you make them clear favourites for the Championship title?
I think over the last couple of seasons, when you saw Kilmarnock and Dundee going up, the budget certainly helps. And although they weren't at their best, Dundee or Kilmarnock in the last couple of seasons in the Championship, the budget kind of pulled them through in the end, and the squad size, and that's exactly, I think, the way it'll go this year for Dundee United, Kenny.
Yeah, Wraith Rovers are off to a flyer as well. Chick, you've seen a fair bit of Championship action this season. Who's impressed you?
Yeah, I mean, we've said it was week in, week out. There's a huge spread of teams who could go on and certainly get themselves into the playoff situation. I think I agree with Billy that Dundee United would be the favourites. So they really are toiling at the moment. You just don't know what you're getting from Queen's Park at times as well. But and every time I think Dunfermline, they're going to go on a run, and are they behind Kenny at the moment? I think.
They're losing against Partick Thistle, and actually check it, a quick fire double for Dylan Easton. Raith Rovers now 2-0 up away at Ayr United. They're looking very, very good this season.
Well, they are, except I saw them lose. This is the whole point. Every time you think you put your pin on that team, they're going to do. We talk about United again. They're behind today. It's an anything can happen, and I have to say, and I said it last week. Good luck to Duncan Ferguson, but I don't know what the previous incumbent did wrong, because it seemed to have a good couple of seasons for me. And here's a chance for United. It's over the bar. It's been lobbed over the crossbar. They're actually claiming for a penalty kick. What on earth is the referee giving here? It was a chance for United right through. Kai Fotheringham inside the box. He lobbed the goalkeeper. He was brought down after the ball was away. They claim for a penalty. The referee says no go. It's a goal kick. So it's still 1-0 to Queen's Park after all that fuss.
Billy, could you feel it coming? Did you feel it was a matter of time?
No, because we were in every game this season. Don't get me wrong, it's nice of the wee man to say that. It was we were close, especially when you're talking about Raith Rovers, when I needed the footballing gods with us at the end a couple of weeks ago, when we played really well and should have won the game comfortably, and they scored in the last minute. So sometimes the results aren't for you, but you can go to clubs and struggle. Certainly wasn't the case at Inverness for me.
Could be another case for a penalty kick for Kilmarnock. Just a corner whipped in. I think it's Mandron, big centre forward, back in, try to help out, but I think his arms are close to his chest. It does come off his arm, but it would be very harsh. I tell you what, they look spooked at the moment a little bit. St Mirren, it was a mistake for the goal, and just moments ago, just when Dodgy was talking there, is again unlike Gogic, a little bit unsure of himself. Vizell robs him the ball, plays it out to that's left hand side, and Kennedy just had a shot, just kind of deflected over the bar away for a corner kick. But no, they're not looking their usual self at the moment. St Mirren, certainly Kilmarnock having the better of the play.
Dumbarton have equalised at home to Stranraer. Tony Wallace in 28 minutes, one apiece there. Alan Preston, you of course know Duncan Ferguson very well. Were you surprised to see him return to Scottish football?
No, not at all. He's speaking to Duncan this week again. He was desperate to get back in. But it's funny actually, because he's obviously Gary Boland's his number 2. That's bad cop and even angrier cop. That's going to be very difficult for the players there. I'd like to see one of the players going up and tapping on the manager's door with they two in it. But no, it's great that Duncan's back. I know he wanted to get on speaking to him when he was at Forest Green. Didn't feel he got treated correctly down there, and he's back in the game. And it's going to be entertaining if nothing else. It'll be everything that Duncan knows in the game. Someone that Ancelotti has to go to.
And I'll be absolutely delighted, Preston. Sorry, Alan, that is a fantastic, well-worked goal for Inverness yet again.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant work by Louis Longstaff. I think the final touch is Aaron Doran. He's been instrumental today. He's been working so well. I just feel he's just sat down though. Actually, that won't be a very good sign. That's one thing that Duncan Ferguson won't want to see. He won't know because he's turned his back in celebration right now. But that is a fantastically well-worked goal down the flank, getting the ball right across the face of goal. Derek Gaston with absolutely no chance. Aaron Doran in the right place at the right time. Inverness Cali Thistle 2-0 up against Arbroath.
Off to an absolute flyer.
Kenny, here's a phrase you've heard before. Davy Bowman to the yellow card.
It's a goal for St Mirren's. An own goal whipped in left hand side. Who is that? It's outstretched. Is it McGuinness? I think it might be McGuinness.
It's an unbelievable finish. It's McGuinness.
Yeah,
I
tell you what, when you're sliding in at pace in the balls, I don't think you can do much, Leanne, to be honest with you. On this surface, it's a fabulous cross, whipped across that 6-yard box, and McGuinness is trying to cover. But when you go to ground and you slide, there's only one place that's going, into the back of the net. So one apiece.
Yeah. St Mirren back on level terms there. There is a goal in Scotland. It has gone to Stenhousemuir. They're 1-0 up at home to Clyde. Gregor Buchanan with a goal on 30 minutes. He must have had many dealings through the years with big Duncan Ferguson. Quite the character.
Absolutely, yeah. You see, you're very cautious in your interview approach with him. But I mean, amazing career, and even the Scotland duties. When you think back, that fantastic. Remember when Scotland played Sweden? I think it was at Ibrox, and he had a terrific influence there. Then it all went terribly wrong, and it's
not Germany with overhead kick.
Sorry, was it not Sweden? I'll take it. I'll bow to your
overhead kick.
I'll bow to your much more efficient memory, Alan, than mine, to be honest. But yeah, of course, then when we went to the playoff against Estonia in Monaco, and we were suckered into just getting the long ball to Big Duncan all the time. And I know he regrets walking out or just hanging up his Scotland boots a wee bit early. But I mean, it must have been a real challenge to play against the big man. You know what a physical presence he has, and such an iconic figure down at Everton. But and a real, you know, he's going to like not the. There's a hard claim for a penalty here. Not the Dodds, he didn't light up the interviews, but Big Duncan, I think, will be interesting. We get a microphone.
You're not scared of me, yeah?
No, not the slightest.
If you want a drink or something off me, yeah.
Duncan Ferguson's beloved Everton are now 2-0 down at home to Luton Carlton Morris, with the second goal there on 32 minutes in the Championship. Airdrie 1-0 away at Morton,
Kenny,
McGregor on 32. Check.
Sorry, Kenny, I was in, but I did stay quiet for that goal coming in for St Mirren. But yeah, there was a yellow card. There's been a bit of anger from the United dugout, and a yellow card was flashed, as I said, to David Bowman, a man who is no stranger to a booking.
Derek, is that an injury? Sorry to Kyle McGuinness.
Yeah.
What happened? Was
I'm not sure.
Near him, because he looked pretty vexed as he leaves the pitch.
He just got a whack just moments ago. He actually gave the ball away. It's not a head, no. It must be a muscle injury.
Yeah.
It's something, but I didn't see. He get dispossessed, lost possession, but 30-40
must
yards
do
out.
this time. Puts it by the post. Quite incredible. In that occasion, Cifuentes it was just drifting in at the back post. Again, a good cross from the right hand side. I think it skids off his forehead instead of meeting it properly and just burying it into the back of the net. Another chance for Rangers. 4 chances they've had, and 4 they should have probably scored with.
Yeah, it's a big chance. The deliveries have been very good, Willie, whether it's been right or left. Cifuentes does excellently well. He gets himself in a brilliant position, but he overthinks it, he overcomplicates it once he arrives, and I think tries to manipulate and get too much on the ball rather than just meeting it square, because, as I say, the delivery, as you described, was so good. On the money, just go and connect.
Anything at all from the Dons, Willie, as an attacking force?
Not really. They had a little bit of domination of the ball there, maybe for about 3 or 4 minutes, and a number of throw-ins from either side, but nothing came of it. I think it looks as though the tactic is to say, mind you, it's 35 minutes gone now. I was going to say for the first half hour, and then try to open up perhaps a little bit. They're obviously trying to just frustrate Rangers, get the fans maybe to turn a little bit and get them tested, get their character tested. But defensively they've not been good. That's 4 efforts, 4 really good chances Rangers have had. They're very, very fortunate to still be in this game, and they've not shown anything as yet up front, so a little bit disappointing from them.
Who said the better of it, Billy Dodds, Ross County against Hearts?
Honestly, it's been such a poor game in terms of chances created. County are just kicking it clear at times and just giving Hearts the ball straight back. Don't get me wrong, they don't really losing a goal. They've had a couple of runs from outside left to in where they've nearly got in a couple of times, but it's not come to fruition. They have had 2 shots. I'm telling you, both goalkeepers have had nothing to do, Kenny. The first shot was Denham, nicked it and shot over, and then the second Grant got at the edge of the box and shot wide. So that's been about it so far. Absolutely nothing in terms of chances.
Hibs have been very impressive, Rory Loy, under the new manager. What have you seen from them today?
They look good going forward. They looked a little bit suspect defensively, although to be fair I think it's the issues are more maybe in the midfield area, but going forward, I've seen Hibs a few times this season. They're always really, really good to watch going forward. I know there's been a lot said about their defensive worries, but it's a very, very even game, I have to say. Dundee are struggling a little bit from set pieces and dead balls, which is surprising given they've got Portales, who's a big lad, they've got Shaughnessy, they've got Lamy, got Bakayoko and Boateng, who are all big guys, but I've got 3 chances for Paul Hanlon down in my notes, so
it's a goal for Aberdeen, would you believe it? Quite incredible. Poor marking from from the corner, corner from the left-hand side. It's drilled in, and it's Jedson that gets the touch on it at the back post. Jedson slides in. No, it's Garterman actually, that gets the touch. Number 6 slides in at the back post, totally unmarked, and slips it into the back of the net.
We'll get the action.
It's a goal for Dundee United as well. Yeah, it's a goal for Dundee United. Tony Watt, the scorer. It's been coming, actually. They've upped their game, United, in the last 5 to 10 minutes. A great break down the left side. It's cut back, and Tony Watt has absolutely timed his run to perfection. Just come through the inside right channel, just opened the foot and side-footed it into the net. It is Dundee United 1, Queen's Park 1, Tony Watt.
We're looking back at that goal at Ibrox. Dreadful defending.
Yeah, Willie's on the money, but defensively it's so poor. Cifuentes, I think, is the player that's picking up Garthman, but James Tavernier is also not marking anybody, not doing anything at the back area, doesn't read the situation, doesn't judge the flight of the ball. But credit to Aberdeen, Willie, because as you've described, it's been all Rangers chances. Yeah. They've got themselves up the pitch, and they've probably highlighted, I think, set pieces as well as an opportunity to go and capitalise at Ibrox, putting a bit of pressure on it, and they've managed to do that.
Well, it's now character testing for Rangers, isn't it? Because you know the crowd, they're going to get very edgy indeed, and it's going to take a lot for them. But they've had 4 chances, Leanne. They've had 4
Here's
great
a chance
chances.
for St Johnstone, clean through, goal! Costello scored for St Johnstone. It's exactly what Stevie McLean said this week. They need to get the first goal, give them something to hang on to. So ball played through. Costello finds himself in acres of space, 18 yards out, hits it across the keeper into the bottom corner. 35 minutes on the clock. St Johnstone 1, Livingston 0.
That's a lovely finish, Alan. Nice bit of build up there, though. I don't think Costello was the intended target from Phillips initially, but he gets the break of the ball. He's still got an awful lot to do to get back across the goalkeeper, and he's pretty clinical. He gets good contact on it. And it is a big goal for St Johnstone, isn't it? Because they've put an awful lot of work into a lot of the games and not quite get back out of it what they've been trying to get, Alan.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what they needed, Leanne. Honestly, it's not been a classic so far. It's got to be said, this game. 2 sides that not really creating much, and that's the first sign of a bit of class. But you're right, I don't think Phillips meant the pass for him, but he found himself in a fair bit of space. Oberlai was away, was nowhere near him, and a time that Costello gets a shot off Oberlai's, try to close him down, but the damage is done. He's through again. Can he score again? Oh, good save by the keeper. He actually should have scored there as well. There's a lovely little flick from Jeff Cott into his path, and he's through 1-on-1. Shot gets a deflection into the keeper. Keeper blocks it with his foot away for a corner.
It's good play from St Johnstone, Allen, because it's not they're not trying to overcook it. It's 1 and 2 touch play round the corner, off the shoulder, look to try and get in behind, and it's been effective.
Yeah, a big goal there, Dara Costello, on 36 minutes, and a huge goal at Ibrox. Aberdeen 1-0 up away to Rangers. Derek Ferguson, it's early days in that game.
Why are you coming to me?
Because I see so many Rangers fans. We know the atmosphere and the 1-0 defeat of Motherwell last Sunday. They were better during the week, but that was against a poor Livingston side, you'd have to say. I mean, can he survive many more of these defeats? I mean, these poor performances?
Simply no, but they were better, slightly better. It's like the whole season, it's been in fits and starts. They've not dominated the game from start to finish. And I'm just listening to Willie, telling us how it was unfolding. Rangers, it just sounded like a matter of time, and I was actually quite stunned there. So, but that's the one thing. Willie says it right away. The fans will turn because they've not liked what they've witnessed so far up to this point. I think a bit of that you bring it on to the manager himself, because he promised so much before the season started. Style of football, on the front foot, attacking, and
Cifuentes missed that chance, Derek. This is a player that the manager said when he came into the next level. Exactly, Derek.
Yeah, I know that.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and sometimes you build players up, and just rein it in a little bit for me. It's the young boy Bailey Rice as well. He spoke really highly of him. Was it 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago? And I'm thinking, whoa. But the boy's, he's not been near it. He's not had an opportunity. But just sometimes you just need to rein it in. And again, does that come from being a little bit more experienced?
He says
as a manager,
too much.
Yeah, it's far too. Well, we know that now, don't we? But it's far too much. He's far too open. But that's what you get from the good, experienced managers. They just rein it in, and they know how to deal with the press. So
he spoke, Derek, midweek, and he was speaking about triangles and they were trying to do this and trying to do that, and I'm thinking the Rangers fans know exactly what they're watching every week. And they're not seeing triangles, they're not seeing a system of play. There's not an identity there.
But what you'll get is you'll get a second half where the players need to do it for the manager, so they need to go out and show what they're all about and handle what comes at Ibrox. We all know at Ibrox, if you don't start performing well after 15-20 minutes, Billy will tell you as well, the fans got on your back, and that's their right. They pay good money, they come to watch good attacking, exciting, winning football. We've not been seeing it. Certainly we've been winning games, but it's the level of performance that should be up a notch or two, in my opinion.
Yeah, Billy, I was thinking about that. It's tough for the manager watching from the sidelines. Willie's described the chances really well. Dessers had 2 great chances. Cifuentes, my goodness, I don't know how he missed it, but the manager can't do anything about that. But these are the players that the manager signed.
Yeah, and but I listen to the boys and the guys again, it's just like it's as if he's peaked too early for the expectation level. I think you have got to show that experience and just put a curb on it at times, and then people don't buy into it too much. Sorry, Alan, on you go, sir.
Sorry, it's a great play on the wing by Carey. Gets to the byline, he whips it across, and Oberlai has a slash at the front post, comes off his shin and lands on the roof of the net. Lucky man.
West Ham United 2, Sheffield United 0. Souček with a goal on 37 minutes. And just looking through for Kelty Hearts 0, Queen of the South 1, Jake Hutchinson on 40. Dumbarton 2, Stranraer 1, Ryan Wallace on 39. Dumbarton coming from behind in that game. Everton back in it against Luton. Everton 1, Luton 2. Calvert-Lewin with a goal on 41 minutes, and a quick fire reply from Kelty Hearts, 1 apiece now at home to Queen of the South. Lewis Moore with a goal on 43 minutes. Chance?
It's the best chance of the match, and it's not really a chance. It comes to about 18 yards out. You'll see it, Leanne, and Lawrence Shankland holds up. He's a little spin and he bends it with his left foot, tries to find the far top corner, just misses the post by about maybe a foot or so.
Odegaard has Arsenal 2-0 up away at Bournemouth, that from the penalty spot, and just waiting to see that chance coming in here. Willie, what's the atmosphere like there at Ibrox? Because the fans have been making their feelings very clear for weeks now.
It's just quiet, Kenny, just now. I've got one of my headsets, one part of the headsets off, just to try and listen to the crowd itself, but it's very, very quiet. Rangers haven't played badly. I'm not in any way suggesting that they've played badly, and they've created opportunities. They just haven't taken the chances. If they'd have taken 50% of the chances that they have created, then it would have been quite a cruise for them. I think that was Aberdeen's first shot and goal that came from the corner. So that tells you the tactics for Aberdeen has been to frustrate. They're frustrated, but when you get it laid in a plate, the 4 chances that were there, you've got to at least take 50% of them, have you not? They haven't done that, and it's a mountain now to climb, because Aberdeen got their tails up. It's a Frankfurt type of, and I don't mean that disrespectful in any way whatsoever, type of performance for Aberdeen. They're looking really solid at the back. They're not much of a threat going forward other than that set piece goal, but they've been very, very difficult to break down unless it's been crosses thrown in from the wide areas. And saying that, I'm saying they've been difficult to break down. Rangers have had 4 chances, so I really can't back that up.
No, but they were very good that night against Frankfurt. That seemed to be the turning point, Will, as you said earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and the tactics is exactly the same team, exactly the same tactics. So it's not as if Michael Beale doesn't know. He knew when Barry Robson named that team what type of performance they were going to get, and they're really struggling at this moment in time to get back into the game. And Aberdeen looking really strong and organised and disciplined at the back.
Yeah, the thing is, Leanne, a lot of Rangers fans are saying that Michael Beale's got to deliver the League Cup.
Half-time here, Kenny, sorry, 0-0 at half-time in Dingwall.
Thanks, Billy. He's got to get there. Semi-finals beginning of November, final 17th of December. I mean, that's a long way off for the Rangers manager right now.
Half-time at Easter Road, Hibs 0, Dundee 0.
Thanks, Rory.
Yeah, and there's a lot of football to be played before then, Kenny, absolutely. And when you look at the Cup draw and the teams that are remaining, every one of those teams you could justify a reason that they will be desperate to continue in the Cup and go and lift that silverware, because for managers it will take the pressure off, for the fans it certainly gives them something to cheer about, of course it does. So Michael Beale's not going to get it all his own way, so to hang your hat on silverware that's weeks and weeks away, you know, is silly, and I don't think as a Rangers manager you can really afford to do that, because you go game by game, and when you're behind in the league, as Rangers find themselves, they've got to focus domestically on the league and still look to try and put as much pressure on Celtic as they can, and the teams above them just now.
He's got to stay close to Celtic in the league, is he not, Leanne? Really, of
course he has, Willie.
You know, and take silverware as well in the cup competitions if he doesn't win the league title. But if there's a huge gap between Rangers and Celtic, even if he does maybe win the League Cup, I think the pressure will still be on him.
7 points right now as things stand. Looking at the live table, half-time scores coming in across the country. Partick Thistle 1, Dunfermline 0, Morton 0, Airdrie 1, Falkirk 0, Montrose 0, Alloa Athletic 0, Edinburgh City 0, Billy telling us Ross County 0, Hearts 0, Rory giving us a half-time from Easter Road, Hibs 0, Dundee United 0, Stenhousemuir 1, Clyde 0. That is a half-time scoreline from League 2. Steny currently top of the table there.
Half-time here, Kenny, 1 each, United and Queen's Park.
Thanks to a very early goal there for the away side, but United pegging them back. East Fife 1, Forfar 0, Dumbarton 2, Stranraer 1, Spartans 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Ayr United 0, Championship leaders Wraith Rovers 2.
Gayfield, Inverness Kelly Thistle 2-0 up against Arbroath.
Thank you very much indeed. What a start for Duncan Ferguson there. 2 goals, Louis Longstaff and Aaron Doran with the goals there. 10 and 31 minutes. A double from Dylan Easton has Rovers 2-0 up away at Ayr United. Jack Thompson with that early goal for Queen's Park. Tony Watt equalising on 37 minutes. Lewis McGregor has Airdrie 1-0 up away at Morton. The goal on 32 minutes. And Scott Robinson for Partick Thistle on 21 minutes. We're just awaiting the half-time scorelines. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. We're also covering the Ryder Cup for you this afternoon. Let's quickly go to our reporter there in Italy, Brian McLaughlin.
Yes, Kenny, the first points of the afternoon gone to the USA. Sam Burns and Colin Morikawa, 4-3 winners over Victor Hovland and Ludwig Eber. Max Homa and Brian Harman 3 up against Fleetwood and Højgaard, although the Americans in trouble off the tee at the 15th. Justin Rose and Bob McIntyre 1 up against Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, and it's all square now between Matt Fitzpatrick and Rory McIlroy and Patrick Cantley and Wyndham Clark. McIntyre looks as if he'll have a putt from around 6 feet for birdie at the 13th hole, but yeah, at the moment McIntyre 1 up along with Justin Rose against Thomas and Spieth.
Luke Donald could give Brian a game in the morning and still win it.
You see the clobber he's got on today, I tell you, Alan. My goodness, he's dressed in the nines.
Half time, Kenny. Come on, at 1, St Mirren 1.
Half time at McDermott Park, St Johnstone 1, Livingston 0.
Yeah, 1-0 to the Dons at Ibrox.
Thanks, guys. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. That's a half-time scoreline. Peterhead 2, Elgin City 0. And we have Kelty Hearts 1, Queen of the South 1. Wolves 1-0 up on Manchester City at half-time. And that is you up to date with all the score lines. We will get half-time reports for you right here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
All the action.
From all the biggest games.
This is Sports Sound.
Oh, it's a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Another goal!
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We kicked off today. The early start was at Fir Park. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. Matt O'Reilly, the winner there on 97 minutes. Our second commentary of the day comes from Ibrox. Rangers against Aberdeen. Let's then cross to our commentary team there of Kenny Miller and Liam McLeod.
Well, I mean, could it be a sliding doors weekend for the Scottish Premiership title race? Because Celtic obviously dramatically winning at Motherwell earlier on today has been followed up by a first half here where Rangers have dominated large spells of it. They've had numerous opportunities, yet they find themselves behind to Aberdeen. Stefan Gartemann with his first goal for the club on loan from Midtjylland in his homeland Denmark, and he prodded home a Leighton Clarkson corner at the back end of the 6-yard box. He was unmarked, completely unmarked. Freedom of that 6-yard area to knock it home to give Aberdeen the lead. That coming after they'd survived numerous opportunities for Rangers. Cyril Dessers, in fact, inside 3 minutes, really should have scored. Blasted over the bar. Lammers distance shot just wide. Abdallah Sima with a diving header just wide as well before Dessers did likewise with his head. Cifuentes had a huge opportunity as well, around about the 35-minute mark, but they didn't take any of them. And 3 minutes later, the Aberdeen goal came 7 minutes from the end of the 45, to serious murmurings of discontent among the Rangers supporters. But the Aberdeen fans over on the far side were in absolute ecstasy when that ball crashed into the net. They really do look like a better defensive unit, Kenny Miller, since they got the goal. And actually, in the second half of the first half, they looked more solid, but they did surrender plenty of opportunities for Rangers. And Michael Beale's away up the tunnel at half-time, lamenting the fact that at least one of those chances has got to go in.
Yeah, we said again when it was 0-0 that you're actually like, will Michael Beale rue those missed opportunities in the first half, or the first half of that first half in particular? But and at the moment he will be, because again it's a poor goal to lose from a set play. It's something he'll be really, really disappointed at, particularly the fact that there was no real contact, or like the marking was really, really poor. It maybe looked like he ran off Cifuentes, but yeah, they've had, I mean, I'm saying 5 really good chances. I'm thinking of the Dessers chance after 3 minutes, the header that went straight at Kyle Roos either side of them, and it's a goal. I think Lammers, when he gets that ball on his left foot about 20 yards out, he's more than capable of pulling that into a bottom corner of the goal. He pulls it wide. But Cifuentes, again, it was the latest opportunity, but that's a header. I would say he was arriving just inside the 6-yard box, middle of the goal, and he's headed it wide, you know. So you just can't, at any level of football, whether it's low level, win a cup game, or a big game that you need to win against a really decent level of opposition, you can't afford to miss 5-6 really good opportunities without taking them, because all it does is, not only does it get the fans anxious, it doesn't give you that lead, it gives the opposition belief that they're still in a game, you've not taken opportunities, and what can happen at the other end is when you get that one opportunity, you take it. So at this moment in time, there's a lot of work to be done for Michael and his team. They'll have to show some real character to overturn this in the second half.
Leighton Clarkson so on point with his deliveries. Free kick led to the corner that he took himself, found Garton, man. It was pinpoint from the Aberdeen number 10, and they have a sensational lead here at Ibrox of Rangers 0, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, it could be a very big story developing there at Ibrox, unless Michael Beale's side can turn things around in the second half. Let's then get to Dingwall, Ross County against Hearts there for us. Billy Dodds.
And this will be quick, Kenny. Both goalkeepers could have stayed in the dressing rooms at the start of this game. Only 3 half chances for Hearts in that first half. The first came in 25 minutes when Baldwin was slack with a pass out into midfield. Denham nicked it. He drove to about 20 yards and shot over just after the half-hour mark. It was held up and laid off by Shanklin, and Grant, in a good position, just dragged his shot maybe a couple of yards wide of the right-hand post. And 2 minutes before the break, the best effort from Hearts so far. Shanklin, he held it up, he touched and turned on the edge of the box and curled an 18-yard shot that just went a foot wide of the post, with Laidlaw stranded. After the midweek cup ties, it looks like 2 jaded teams in Dingwall. You get the feeling there'll be plenty of substitutions in the second half. It's Ross County 0, Hearts 0.
Thank you to Billy Dodds. There's also a stalemate for you at Easter Road, Rory Loy.
Yes, indeed, it's a stalemate. It's 0-0. However, it was an entertaining opening half hour. The last 15 minutes of the half lacked any real action, but it was 12 minutes where the first real chance of the game came around, and it was for Dundee. Luke McCown's cross found the head of Zach Rudden, who wasn't able to find the corner of the net. The header went through a body and straight at David Marshall. It was a big chance if he could have directed it into the corner. However, Marshall saved. On 17 minutes, Carson then was called into action. It was a Venti header. It was a long throw from Miller, flicked on by Hanlon. Venti at the back stick, arrived, headed. It looked a sure goal, but Trevor Carson does what he does best and saved it, and it went out for a corner. Then came a trio of Paul Hanlon chances. The first, he was stretching at the back post, looked quite difficult. However, the ball could have ended up in the back of the net. And then in 24 minutes he lost his footing in the middle of the box. The ball dropped to him perfectly, but he couldn't quite stretch and knock it into the back of the net. And another Hanlon header in 26 minutes was saved by Trevor Carson. That took us right up to the 45th minute in terms of the action, where a Joe Newell free kick right on the edge of the box, right on half time, was awkward for Carson but well held in the end. Lammy and Beck have found their way into the book, both for fouls on Boyle. Hibs have had 7 corners, failed to make any of them count, and it remains 0-0.
Thank you to Rory Law. You have had goals at Rugby Park, Derek Ferguson.
Certainly have, Kenny. It's one apiece at the moment. It was probably, best you could call it, a pretty measured start from both. Probably trying to feel their way into the game, but it all changed in 19 minutes. It was slack play, got to save from St Mirren. Unusual from then. It was done far too casual with a clearance, and it was Brad Lyons getting a block in. The ball spun away up into the air, into the clouds, and you're thinking it's the keeper's ball all day. Nope. Hemmings in goal, far too timid with his attempt to try and clear, and it was Brad Lyons showing the bravery to come in and nod home. St Mirren, well, they reacted, pushing bodies forward, got themselves level. That came in 31 minutes. Tanser down that left hand side whipping. It was a wicked cross in from that left hand side. It was Kyle McGuinness sliding in and unfortunately putting the ball into his own net. Killies Kennedy then had a shot that just went over. Then it was the Buddies opportunity. It was Mandron had that opportunity on the volley, 12 yards out, but not getting the connection he wanted. That's how we stand at the moment, Kenny. It's Kilmarnock 1, St Mirren 1.
Thank you to Derek Ferguson. It could turn out to be a big day for St Johnstone there at home to Livingston this afternoon. There for us, Alan Preston.
Yeah, but they're leading by 1-0, Kenny, at half time. Wasn't a great first 45 minutes, but St Johnstone had a chance early on with Costello, had a shot with his weaker foot, just went wide of the target. Then Sangari had a header blocked and it came back to Parks, and his effort was also blocked. But the only goal of the game so far, 35 minutes. Phillips pass a bit fortuitous, but found Costello, and this shot across the keeper into the back of the net put St Johnstone 1-0 up. A minute later, Jeff got a lovely flick round the corner, found Costello, and his shot was saved. Carey then had a cross, and Oberle had a slash it at the front post, but the ball landed on the top of the net. It's not been great here at McDermott Park, but the half-time score, St Johnstone 1, Livingston 0.
Thank you to Alan Preston. So in the top flight, it finished at lunchtime. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. Half-time, Hibs 0, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1, St Mirren 1, Rangers 0, Aberdeen 1, Ross County 0, Hearts 0, and St Johnstone 1, Livingston 0. Let's then get into the Championship. Dundee United are at home to Queen's Park. There for us, Chick Young.
Yeah, where United are drawing one each with Queen's Park at half-time. They were stunned, the home team, just over a minute on the clock. A great break down the right-hand side. Louis Longbridge gets the ball across, and Jack Thompson with a finish that swept it beyond Jack Walton in the United goal. And Dundee United looked rattled for a good 20 minutes in the wake of all that. They were not sharp in the ball, they couldn't get moving, and Queen's Park were creating and finding mistakes at the back by United and just couldn't quite capitalise to get the second goal that would maybe secure that lead. And of course the inevitable happened for them because Tony Watt came up with an equaliser 37 minutes of the clock. Ball came across on the left hand side, Watt through the inside right channel and just opened his foot and put it beyond Callum Ferry in the Queen's goal. One each at the moment, and I have to say there was a huge sigh of relief from the United fans when that goal went in, and the tide has turned a little bit. They've got something grip in the game, and if I'm being absolutely honest, as I sit here at half-time at 1-1, I would expect Dundee United to go on and win this match, but curious things happen in Scottish football. Half-time, Dundee United 1, Queen's Park 1.
Staying in the Championship, and the dream start for Duncan Ferguson as Inverness Cally Thistle manager there away at Arbroath today. There for us, Amy Canavan.
You're bang on, Kenny. So far, so good for Duncan Ferguson on his return to Scottish football. His Inverness Cally Thistle side lead Dick Campbell's Arbroath by 2-0. Louis Longstaff kicked off the Ferguson era in what can only really be described in a rather scrappy manner. The ball was whipped into the box from a free kick on the far side. Arbroath failed to clear their lines. Nicola Ustar kept the ball alive, and Longstaff was there lingering at the back post to stab over out of Derek Gaston's reach. Things only got better for the visitors and for Ferguson. The second goal was a much cleaner move, and one that will no doubt please the new manager. Tremendous work by Longstaff down the left flank. His fizz cross to the near post prodded over by Aaron Doran, who has really been rolling back the years this afternoon. Much to like for Ferguson. The same though cannot be said for the man with the bunnet. He's been up and down, jacket on and off, and he's just came out early, as he does like to do so, with the jacket off again. He's fidgety. Arbroath have been aggravated. Half time here at Gayfield. Arbroath 0, Inverness Cally Thistle Thistle 2.
So Arbroath 0, Inverness, Cali Thistle 2, Ayr United 0, Raith Rovers 2, Dundee United 1, Queen's Park 1, Morton 0, Airdrie 1, Partick Thistle 1, Dunfermline 0. In League 1, Alloa 0, Edinburgh City 0, Falkirk 0, Montrose 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Queen of the South 1, 5:30 start, Stirling Albion at home to Cove Rangers. In League 2, Dumbarton 2, Stranraer 1, East Fife 1, Forfar Athletic 0, Peterhead 2, Elgin City 0, Spartans 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Stenhousemuir 1, Clyde 0. And in England, it finished at lunchtime, Aston Villa 6, Brighton 1, Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2, that's a half-time score, Everton 1, Luton 2, Man United 0, Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle United 1, Burnley 0, West Ham United 2, Sheffield United 0, and Wolves 1, Manchester City 0. The 5:30 kick-off should be a cracker. Spurs at home to Liverpool. So it's time now once again to give you a choice of listening here on BBC Radio Scotland for full commentary of Rangers against Aberdeen. Tune to BBC Radio Scotland on digital, Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave, and for open all mics choose BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder! From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Leanne Crichton in the studio with me here. Leanne, incredible drama at Fir Park at lunchtime. Celtic getting that 2-1 win away at Motherwell. Rangers had the opportunity to try and close the gap this afternoon. They had so many chances in that first half, but made to pay. There could be a big story on the card at Ibrox if things remain the same.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Willie Miller certainly describing the action very well for us. Rangers had some fantastic opportunities. Although I would need to say as the halves wore on, those same types of chances that they're looking to try and recreate are becoming a bit predictable now. The same types of crosses, the same types of deliveries with no real success or finesse on the end of it. It'll be a frustration for Michael Beale. It'll be a huge frustration for the Rangers supporters that have packed out Ibrox again this afternoon, looking, as you say, to close the gap on Celtic. But as it stands just now, it looks like they're going to stay and remain way behind.
Yeah, right now for Michael Beale, getting even to the League Cup semi-final looks a long way off. That will take place at the beginning of November. The final takes place in mid-December. Falkirk 0, Montrose 1. Blair Lyons with the goal there at the start of the second half. Let's quickly get back to Rome. Our reporter Brian McLaughlin is there for us watching the Ryder Cup. Brian.
Yeah, 9.5, 3.5. The USA picking up the first point of the afternoon. Sam Burns and Morikawa, 4-3 winners over Hovland and Auberg. It looked, for all intents and purposes, that Tommy Fleetwood and Nikolai Højgaard were going to pull one back against Max Homa and Brian Harman. The Americans 3 up. Homa, absolutely ridiculous chip from the rough, deep rough it was as well, for a par to tie that hole. Justin Rose and Bob McIntyre now 2 up against Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. A wonderful approach shot to the par 3, 13th hole by McIntyre to 6 feet, and he rolled in the putt for birdie. So the Europeans now 2 up, and it's all square between Fitzpatrick and McIlroy against Cantlay and Clark. Europe will certainly take a healthy lead into the final day, and they dominate this second day here at the 44th Ryder Cup, Kenny.
More from Brian throughout the afternoon, and of course we'll bring you updates on Sports Sound tomorrow. Just about to get back underway. Willie Miller at Ibrox. You feel this could be a very important second 45?
That's huge, Kenny, isn't it? I mean, I think the way the pressure is coming on Michael Beale, then he has got to hope that he can turn this round, and to do that he's made 2 changes.
Oh my goodness gracious me, what a goal. Arbroath, what are you doing? I think they've completely switched off and not realised that the game is actually in play. Billy Mackay with a lovely little lob. In fact, it's not a little lob, it's a fantastic massive lob. It's just absolutely incredible. Everybody inside Gayfield is absolutely stunned. No one more than Dick Campbell. He is just strutting up and down that dugout, arms are out in desperation. That is absolutely sensational. I wish you could see this one back, Leanne. No doubt somebody will manage to clip it up at some point, because I do not know what Arbroath have just done.
Yeah, what a start for Duncan Ferguson. 3-0 up away at Arbroath. Ayr United have pulled a goal back at home to Wraith Rovers. Anton Dowds on 50 minutes, and Partick Thistle have doubled their advantage at home to Dunfermline. Brian Graham on 49 minutes. Let's then get back to Billy Dodge. You're saying, Billy, not much of a game there for you in Dingwall.
And it's still going the same way though, in terms of Hearts forcing but not really creating. They've been in Ross County's half from the half-time break, but they just can't create opportunities. And as I said, it looks like two tired teams there. Civic coming forward from centre back, getting to about 25 yards and just blasting one over the bar. It's been long range efforts so far for Hearts, and no change. Ross County have made a substitution. I think Alex Samuel might have picked up a little injury, so they brought on Eamon Brophy for him. They're trying to get a bit of energy into their side, but so far it's the same pattern in this second half.
Little opportunity there for Kilmarnock, Kenny. It's just Armstrong cutting in from the right hand side onto his left foot and just fizzing it. Maybe it goes a couple of feet past that far right hand post, but really positive start to the second half, certainly from Kilmarnock.
Yeah, one apiece there down at Rugby Park. Rory Loy is at Easter Road for us this afternoon. Tony Docherty will surely be very happy so far, Rory, there.
Yeah, to a degree. I think they have looked susceptible at set plays, as I've mentioned before, and Hibs probably should have scored a goal, but so should Dundee. So, it's just kind of tweaking the finer parts of the game, I think, for Tony Docherty at half-time. And Nick Montgomery, to be fair. Hibs didn't play badly at all in the first half. In the 48th minute, to start the second half, Ellie Youhan cut in from the right-hand side after a pass from Newell, trying to find that far corner, one of those shapy ones, the Thierry Henry finish, if you will, and it wasn't really well executed, and it was easily saved by the goalkeeper. So still 0-0 at the moment, but it still remains an open game, but the quality has went down ever so slightly. Oh, I thought Zach Rudden was going to find the far corner there. It was the right hand side, very similar to the Yuan chance. He tries to swerve it, and the angle I'm sitting at, it may have gone close. He wants a corner, but it does remain 0-0, but not devoid of chances this second half already.
Yeah, I don't think that looks too far away, Rory. I would need to say he's very adamant that there was a deflection. Don't know if I'll be able to see off this replay that we're going to get now. Difficult to see if there's a deflection, to be fair, but he's in a good position and he is looking to shape it towards goal. Yeah, I think it does take a nick. I think Rudden's got a point.
Yeah,
not to be
good effort though.
Yeah.
Kelty Hearts 2, Queen of the South 1. Reece Lyon with the goal on 48 minutes. Early stages at McDermott Park in the second half there. Alan, what's happening?
Davy Martindale's made a change. Dan Mackay's come on, Jamie Brennan's gone off, and Dan Mackay's been booked within a minute of coming on for a heavy challenge on Graham Carey. Nothing really happening, Kenny, at the start of the second half, but it's still St Johnstone 1, Livingston 0.
Speaking of heavy challenges, Leanne, Caroline Weir, a really bad injury for her during the week. I saw Pedro Martinez-Loza. He was absolutely furious with the challenge.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't pleased. I was at Hampden on Tuesday night, Kenny, and first and foremost, it's so bitterly disappointing for Caroline Weir, because she's 28 years old. She's playing just now the best football of her career. She's one of those players as well. She's been constantly fit and available. I was just speaking to Tom, one of our BBC colleagues there, and I was saying for the last decade she's had 103 caps. She's virtually played 10 international games every season. I don't ever remember her missing a camp. I don't remember her being unavailable. She's now at Real Madrid. She's a standout for Scotland. She's a standout for her club, and she's going to be faced with some lengthy time on the sidelines. The reality is the challenge on her on Tuesday night wasn't great, and I know Pedro Martinez-Loza alluded to the fact he felt his key players had been targeted that night, yes, and that the referees weren't strong enough or good enough to be operating at that level of competition. But I think the bigger picture for me is that, we speak about it in the men's game, we speak about it in the women's game. The loading of players just now is absolutely off the scale.
Just explain
when you
that
talk
a bit more.
about games,
just game time.
Constant game times. Everything's a competitive match now. And in the women's game, the player pool and the talent pool is not big enough. We haven't grown the game enough to go and match and replicate the scheduling of the men's game, which is now what we're trying to do. The Nations League has been introduced, which is a new format, so it's replaced effectively a friendly window, an international window, with a competitive window. So there's that element and that edge of competition that you cannot afford to rest or leave out your best players. Now, in that window, they were already without Erin Cuthbert as well, Emma Watson, young player that moved from Rangers, to Manchester United just in the summer, also picked up an ACL injury on international duty at the beginning of the camp. So Scotland have effectively lost 2 of their best players in the same international window. There's more to it. The scheduling's one thing, the loading of players is another. You know, you talk about footwear, you talk about the resources and how you look after players now. There has to be more research. There really has to be a driving force now that we look to try and stop this, because every other week now...
What a save! What a save! Oh, the flag's gone up. Yeah, just have a look at the save, because the keeper doesn't know about it. It's Bruce Anderson's through. He's trying to kill it into the corner.
Save. Brilliant.
Meathoff, what a save, but the flag goes up.
Yeah, he's still got the save to make, Alan, you're right. He doesn't know it's going to be offside. Does really, really well. Good strong hand on it.
Yeah, a good signing, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. No, he's been the difference in so many games. So, not Kenny, really sad news. Really disappointing as a Scotland fan as well, and knowing Caroline Weir and Emma Watson, not so much personally, but just so disappointed for the players.
I was at Rugby Park that night, Leanne, so I didn't see the game. In terms of the performance-wise, first half, probably similar to what Willie's described at Ibrox this afternoon, that Scotland had all the chances. It seemed like it was a game that they were well in control of. Came out the second half, didn't really get going. Belgium scored almost against the run of play, a sucker punch. But Scotland showed an awful lot of character to dig in and get themselves a point. It gets them up and running, and I think that's the biggest thing. And an international window where they performed so well against England for huge parts of the game, and again against Belgium in huge parts of the game, in a pot A in the competition, which is the toughest by far. They've given a decent account of themselves so far. Spartans 0, Bonnyrigg 2, Lee Curry on 53 minutes. Peterhead 3, Elgin City 0. Kieran Shanks with the latest goal there. Stenhousemuir have doubled their advantage at home to Clyde. Matt Yates on 52 minutes. Any sign of a Rangers fight back, Willie?
Yeah, good opportunity.
Oh, there's a penalty. Yeah, have a look at this. Newbley goes down under the challenge of Gordon. He's going nowhere. The ball's actually going out for a by kick. He's never catching it. Right on the byline of the penalty box. Referee, no hesitation. He thinks Gordon thinks it's a coming together. You're going to have to help me out here.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I've seen it just in real time, Alan. We'll hopefully get a replay. But I see what you mean. The ball was...
He's never
a hell of a lot of pace in the ball. Doesn't look to me like any clip. Both players are kind of at it, I would need to say. There is Newbley's almost reaching back the way he's got a bit of contact on Gordon. It's just whether he catches him.
We got a good view of this.
Yeah, I know the angle's not great, Alan, I would need to say, but they'll review it, they'll look at it, but it's it's such a, if this goes ahead and a penalty's given, it's such a poor and
goal!
Needless penalty to give away.
Dundee United are 2-1 ahead at Tannadice. Great breakdown. The left side, I think, may well be Tony Watt again, who stepped in at the far post. Good breakdown the right side. He's been coming, I suspected at half time that the tide had turned United's way. That is proven to be the case at the moment. They got themselves down the right side. No one picked up at the far post. I think it was Watt. Simple tap in, and it is Dundee United 2, Queen's Park 1.
Where did you park, Jack? Wait till you see this touch, Leanne, from Dylan Vente. He flicks it around the corner to Martin Boyle.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, beautiful, wasn't it? And then Martin Boyle's shot saved.
Penalty's given, Leanne.
Fantastic touch.
Still not had another replay of it, Alan. But there's not an awful lot in it, I would need to say, from first viewing. Not an awful lot in it.
Kai Havertz has scored for Arsenal on 53. They're now 3-0 up away at Bournemouth. That's a big goal for Dundee United there at Tannadice.
Sean Kelly's going to step up here, Kenny. Can he equalise for Livingston? He's going to take this one left-footed. Meathoff's been in great form. Goes the wrong way. 1-1 at McDermott Park.
Huge goal there. Yes,
to correct the scorer. Scott McMahon got it at the far post. Scott McMahon, so it's Watt with the first one, McMahon with the second. Jack Thompson out for Queen's Park. 2-1 Dundee United.
Yeah, and that is the goal that should see them go back to the top of the championship table. McMahon on 56 minutes there for the home side.
Best chance of the game.
Yeah, on you go, Billy.
It's come for Hearts again. I think it's Grant at the back post or Vargas, both try to slide in. It's a cross, comes over from the right, goes to the left hand side in the box to Kingsley, just squares it. Two players going for it. There's a contact. It's obviously off a Ross County player because it just squirms past the left hand post.
Billy, just to be put in the back of the net, isn't it? I think Forrest is in there, and you're right, Vargas is there as well. Good delivery from Kingsley, was
it? A couple of subs, yeah. Kingsley just played it across the box, Leanne. But it's a couple of subs and a wee bit more invention from Hearts.
Dumbarton 3, Stranraer 1, Michael Ruth on 56 minutes. Noise levels rising there at Ibrox, Willie Miller.
Yeah, Barisic had a chance. That was about 5 minutes ago, but it's Aberdeen now that have got a fair bit of the ball and a fair bit of possession, playing a lot better in the second half. Aberdeen, they've got another corner, so Rangers have got to be disciplined and organised to take care of it. Lenny Clarkson's delivery have been absolutely spot on. That's another good one into the box, but it's well defended. So no, I don't. No, he's won it back again. It's a cross. It's a wee chance at the back post. It's off the post. It's a cross from Clarkson after he's taken the corner kick. He puts the cross in, and it's Majowski that gets the header. He drills it towards the Rangers goal. He's hurt himself, you know, in the action of trying to do it. It rattles off that post. Another big chance for Aberdeen. If that had made it two, I don't know how the natives would have been feeling, but I can imagine.
Well, it was at Dessers on the far side that from the corner initially almost kind of keeps the ball up and gets caught in possession and gives it away in that left full-back area.
Yeah, I'm not too sure who it was, Leanne, to be honest.
Whoever it is, it's an absolute nonsense. It is Dessers. Unbelievable.
It's clear that, I mean, the delivery is good, but Rangers defend it quite well, but it's cleared back out towards Clarkson and Dessers, as you say. He picks it up, but then I don't know what he does. Does he just switch off and Clarkson
tries to
manages?
keep it up and flick it round the player?
What's your taking Dessers, Leanne?
Jury's out, Derek. Not seen enough. Looking at his opportunities this afternoon, as Willie's described, he needs to take at least one of them. All round, I don't think he gives you enough, but that was the case, wasn't it? Even when Danilo was sat on the bench, I think you had seen more from Danilo coming off the bench and impacting games more so than you had seen from Dessers. It was certainly starting games.
Just looks one-paced a lot of the time, not as mobile as I thought, and not the bravest as well. I was up covering the Ross County game, and I think he had 3 great opportunities with the head, and you know, and I think if you're, and it's like the goal that we've got today with Brad Lyons, you know, showed great bravery, you know, thinking that he's maybe going to get take a whack, you know, and I think at least one of those opportunities with Dessers up at County, he was going to get whacked and he wasn't prepared to take the whack.
What would you say he was, Derek? Was he a target man? Is he a hold-up man? You know, if you categorise him as a striker,
I think he's in between, Billy.
Yes, check.
Dundee United will have all 3 points wrapped up this afternoon. Great break down the left side this time. Glenn Middleton gets the line, sweeps it across, and I think it is what this time. Certainly a knock in at the far post, simple touch, and Queen's Park getting ripped apart now. It's Dundee United 3, Queen's Park 1.
Yeah, coming from behind and going to the top of the table. Currently 1 point clear of Wraith Rovers. The goals are flying in this afternoon. Partick Thistle now 3-0 up at home to Dunfermline. Kerr McInroy on 60. Peterhead 4, Elgin City 0. Scott Ross with the latest goal there. Edinburgh City have gone 1-0 up away at Alloa. Robbie Leach on 61. Clyde back in it against Stenhousemuir. Logan Dunneke there makes it Stenhousemuir 2, Clyde 1. Manchester City have equalised away at Wolves. Alvarez on 58 minutes. Falkirk have equalised at home to Montrose. That is 1 apiece there, and confirmation that goal for Tony Watt is second of the game. That one coming on 61 minutes. So United in cruise control there against Queen's Park. And Queens have made a terrific start to the season, but have been very poor in recent weeks. So across the country this afternoon, Hibs 0, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1, St Mirren 1, Rangers 0, Aberdeen 1, Ross County 0, Hearts 0, St Johnstone 1, Livingston 1. We kicked off today, lunchtime start at Fir Park. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. In the Championship today, the latest scores for you are Arbroath 0, Inverness, Cali Thistle 3. What a start for Duncan Ferguson. Ayr United 1, Wraith Rovers 2, Dundee United 3, Queen's Park 1. United back on top of the table. Morton 0, Airdrie 1, Partick Thistle 3, Dunfermline 0. In League 1 this afternoon, Alloa 0, Edinburgh City 1, Falkirk 1, Montrose 1. Falkirk coming from behind. Kelty Hearts 2, Queen of the South 1. 5:30 start, Stirling Albion at home to Cove Rangers. And in League 2, Dumbarton 3, Stranraer 1, East Fife 1, Forfar 0, Peterhead 4, Elgin City 0, Spartans 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 2, Stenhousemuir 2, Clyde 1. Steny top off the table there, 1 point clear of Peterhead as things stand in England. Lunchtime, Aston Villa 6, Brighton 1, Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 3, Everton 1, Luton 2, Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle United 1, Burnley 0, West Ham United 2, Sheffield United 0, Wolves 1, Manchester City 1, and the 5:30 start, Spurs are at home to Liverpool. That's you.
Free
right
kick for Rangers here, Kenny.
Yeah,
Free
take
kick,
it away, Willie.
20 yards out. It's Lindstrom that has been taken out by Rubizic just outside the box. So you've got Tavernier and Barisic over the ball, the right foot and the left foot. It's a real big chance. Aberdeen get everybody back. Huge wall there. Oh, it's over the bar. It's Tavernier, normally a lot better than that, you know, giving it the big build-up. Once you give it the big build-up,
Hibs want a penalty here. It looks like simulation to me, and I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get booked. I'm surprised John Beaton has blown his whistle, actually. Ewan cuts inside. Looks like he just falls over when Beck goes to the deck. We get a wee look at it, Leanne.
I've just seen it in real time, Rory, as you were describing it, and it's exactly what you have just said. It looks like simulation. I'll be shook if it's anything else when I get a better angle of it.
Dan does similar here, Leanne. He goes down, they're having a little look, they're having a little shout, but I thought he went over ever so easy.
Yeah, I'm just going to get another look at yours now, Billy.
I don't know how Beaton doesn't book him, though.
At all. No, nothing in yours, Billy, certainly.
Spartans 1, Bonnyrigg Rose 2. Reece Armstrong with the goal there in 66 minutes for Spartans. Well, I'd love to know your take on it. I'm not sure how well you can see it from where you're seated there, but Mackenzie was lying flat on the deck. I was looking at Leanne's face behind the wall. What do you make of that tactic now? Some teams are adopting that.
Yeah, I think it's okay as long as it's no wet.
But the only bit from Mackenzie there, Willie, he was actually facing the ball though.
Would you?
You wouldn't want one of your teammates to not block it for you, and you're taking it clean off the face.
Yeah.
I'm not the bravest anyway on the pitch, but I'd have probably turned my back on it.
Yeah, I would have liked somebody to suggest that I lay down behind the wall when I played. I know what the answer would have been. Anyway, it was a poor free kick.
You just lay down in the goal line, no?
It was a poor free kick. A big chance too, you know, but Rangers, they haven't shown much creativity in and around the Aberdeen box, that's for sure. Aberdeen looking to be in control of this game. Obviously, it's still only the one goal and it can turn around very quickly, but Rangers are struggling. They really are struggling, and you don't see anyone out there being leaders on the pitch that's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and turn it round.
Yeah, no doubt they have been missing a lot of these leaders, that so-called leaders in that squad. They have been very, very poor. The performance has been awful. The fans have been on their backs for weeks now, despite a much improved performance midweek in the League Cup, seeing off Livingston there. Billy Dodds, you are in Dingwall for us this afternoon. Do Hearts look like a squad that can be pushing for third this season?
They're capable, they've got a good squad, and they are dominating this game. I just think, looking at them, they are forcing the game. They're the better team, but they just can't create a goal. They've had a couple of chances. They were ramping up the pressure there just a few moments ago. But they've got a good squad, and I think once they settle down, they'll become a force. They'll win games, that's for sure, but they just look as if that cup tie is taking the edge off them, and so did Ross County. I said about substitutions, Kenny, there'll be plenty in the second half. That's 5 now, just both teams trying to freshen things up.
Yeah, so goal is there in Dingwall.
Also another goal.
Yep.
Nearly another goal for United, Kenny. It's a corner on the left side, and a Queen's Park player, I'm not quite sure which one, gets a header on it, and it comes off his own post, and nearly goes back in. Here's another chance for United. 4-1 it is. It's a magnificent goal, a wonderful finish there for United. I think it's Kai Fotheringham with the final touch. A header just glanced beyond the goalkeeper, Callum Ferry. They are running riot now. Queen's Park all over the place. Nearly scored an own goal. Ball was recycled, chipped in. and there it is, 4-1 Dundee United.
Yeah, strong favourites for the title. They fell behind in the first minute there at Tannadice, but Jim Goodwin's side are back on top of the table. Alloa back on level terms at home to Edinburgh City. Ali Roy with the goal on 69 minutes, and confirmation Kai Fotheringham on 67 minutes. Dundee United 4, Queen's Park 1. Still goalless at Easter Road. Roy, we're speaking about the big difference in the sides since the new manager come in, but not so good this afternoon.
They've not been bad by any stretch. They've dominated large parts of this second half, and although it's 0-0, I don't think the sports scene production team are going to struggle to fill a highlights package. It's been there have been chances at both ends. Hibs have been okay. They've just lacked that little bit of quality in good areas. They've had 12 corners, so that kind of suggests that they've been dominant for spells in the match. But Dundee have defended ever so well. I have to say, the three centre backs, big boys, have put their body in where it hurts and their heads on the line. And Trevor Carson, when called upon, has made some good saves. So they're knocking on the door, Hibs, but it's no more than knocking. They're not exactly banging it down. And Dundee look quite dangerous on the counter as well. A lot of half chances in the match, but nothing really clear cut. So no, they've not played badly by any stretch, Hibs. They've just been struggling to find the back of the net, and Dundee have had half the opportunities Hibs have, and they've been the same.
It's Hearts have opened the scoring. It was after County's first attack as well, and Brown hit a shot just past the post, but it's a cross comes in, and it's 17. I think it's Forrest who's come on, who's got it in at the back post, and Hearts have taken the lead deservedly. You have to say they have been pushing, not many chances in the game, but they've taken one. Hearts are up 1-0.
Yeah, it's probably an unlikely.
Remarkably, our both have managed to get one back in the most confusing manner, hence why it's actually taken a few seconds, because none of us really know what's happened. The ball has been cleared. It's an unfortunate own goal. I think it's came off lastly. Nathan Shaw's back. It's completely defied Mark Ridgers, obviously. I think Davidson's trying to clear it. It's bounced off Nathan Shaw's back and somehow managed to spin it into his own net. He knows absolutely nothing about it, but our both are slightly back in this one. 3-1 Inverness Calicut.
Kenny, I did mean to say, sorry, Doidge and Obita are off, and Stevenson and Vente are on, and Stevenson and Vente are off for Hibs. I meant to update that previously.
Thanks for it,
Billy. I'll need to get another look at that goal. Certainly the Forrest is the player that I thought it was. I'm now wondering if it was a possible own goal.
That could have been. Second goal for the Dons. Jamie McGrath with the left foot, close range. It's hip high, round about hip high. He manages to get his foot over the ball, drill it into the back of the net after a bit of ping pong in the box. Jamie McGrath makes it 2 for Aberdeen. Quite sensational. And yes, the natives are getting very angry here at Ibrox.
And no wonder, another really poor performance. You can see the pictures coming in with huge celebrations over in the corner there from these Dons fans. What a performance, what a turnaround in the past 10 days or so.
Oh, magnificent. Just making that change to be really solid at the back, but always a threat going forward, and taking that from the Frankfurt game through the two Ross County games to Ibrox, and really in the second half, fantastic performance from Aberdeen. Rangers devoid of any creativity, devoid of leadership, devoid of anything that can give these fans here that have packed out Ibrox any hope for the future.
And you'd have to say big question marks in terms of that word leadership. You'd have to say with the manager, he's got to be under serious pressure now. Michael Beale, it's been a struggle since the start of the season, and they are right behind it. There's afternoon pictures coming in, Leanne. There, his hands in his pockets.
There is a check, Kenny.
Yep.
I'll check it anyway, really. I don't see anything in it. Certainly that's jumping out at me.
Yeah, it's a goal.
Yeah, and I was actually going to come to you just before that goal there, discussing Dessers and what he does. I mean, I'm looking across these 5 screens, and all I see him doing is fouling.
He's fouled.
The amount of needless fouls he's given away in the last 5-10 minutes or so has been incredible.
He's wiped out Shinnie on 2 occasions. How he's not got a yellow card for at least one of them, I do not know.
The irony is he looks in disbelief as it happens, but they're the most blatant fouls.
The other thing, Leanne, that I've heard a lot of Rangers fans say, I'm not sure, I've not been across it today, but he goes offside an awful lot as well.
And that's just lazy. That's a player that's lazy and lacks concentration, Kenny, and is probably not at the level that you would certainly expect a Rangers player to be.
I think it's game awareness as well, Leanne. I've watched him a few times, and that's why he gets so many fouls as well. He doesn't anticipate things particularly well. He doesn't look to, he doesn't look to have a football brain, as you would say, and that's why he finds himself doing these things that other players maybe wouldn't do. And
he plays as if he's the only player on the pitch, Rory, at times.
Aye, absolutely.
You know, that there's no actually...
Away from Rangers, what a result for Aberdeen, Willie.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely magnificent.
Here we go. Man, you have a look at this. Wee bit of comedy here. Newbley does brilliant on the side. He goes by one player and it goes up, tries to face Dre right up, and he kicks the ball. He's trying to cross it. His left foot kicks his right foot. Brilliant.
And see, the thing there is that the happiest moment of the season so far for me, and Biscuits comes in and just wipes me out.
Well, is that a red card at Ibrox? Oh, we get a red card. Scott Wright. Scott Wright's been sent off as well.
Booking, he is. He's got the second booking, and he's gone.
There's not an awful lot in it. It's never a second booking. If I'm being honest, it's nothing there.
Wow.
No, Shinnie, is it Shinnie? No. Gartman, I think it is.
One of the
kicks through Scott Wright. It's never a yellow card, but Scott Wright has been given his marching orders as well, just to compound the misery for Michael Beale.
I can actually see a lot of Rangers fans just behind the shot there, a lot of Rangers fans leaving. In contrast, we can see pictures now over in the corner that Aberdeen fans, and why not, absolutely jubilant. Wolves 2, Manchester City 1. Wang Hee-chan with the goal there in 66 minutes. Falkirk have come from behind, 2-1 up now against Montrose. Callum Morrison from the penalty spot. Ross County 0, Hearts 1. The Alan Forrest goal timed at 69 minutes. The McGrath goal, that big goal for Aberdeen, coming in on 68 minutes. Rangers 0, Aberdeen 2. Spartans have come from behind, 2-0 down at home to Bonnyrigg Rose. It's now 2 apiece there. Cameron Russell with a goal on 75 minutes. Rory Loy, if things stay the same as they are at Ibrox right now, do you see the manager surviving this?
Being totally honest, I hope he does, because I do think that he deserves a little bit more time to try and get it right. However, I'm really not sure that he does, to be honest with you. 7 points behind is a massive gap. Celtic getting another last minute winner. I think that Rangers may pull the trigger after this, but I hope they don't.
I think it's going to be difficult from Rory, if I'm being honest. The only thing that might buy him time is if there's no immediate replacement lined up, or they don't see anybody that can come in and work with this group of players effectively. I know we've spoken about the injury pile-up that they've got, which is not ideal in regards to timing. Matondo, Roof, Danilo, Raskin, Cantwell, Dowell, Lawrence, they're all there to be named, but the reality is
if they do have a replacement though, lad, do you think you can improve Dessers?
Well, that's a big question, isn't it? That's a big question.
You've got to get 9 players on long contracts.
Rory, that's why your job comes under pressure, because he's bringing in players of lesser quality.
It's not the Scots weaker Derek this season, is it not?
Yes, it looks like it already. You know, what is it, 10, 11 games in?
Clarkson! Almost the third. Clarkson is magnificent with his deliveries.
Is that
one of his
3-0,
centre backs? I think it's Gafterman again.
It could have been Derek. It could have been.
Right.
Willie, can I just ask Willie? You know, I listened to you during the week, and you called it spot on in terms of the way that Barry Robson would set up and put Duke back on the bench despite some good performances. Given how the team have performed, I know the game's not finished. Going into Thursday night, do you bring Duke back in, or do you just stick with the players that have played so well today?
I think you bring Duke back in.
I think so, because you need to win the game.
Yeah. I mean, he's beginning to show the form that he's capable of. And he's such a threat. I think you do when you get there. I think down here is different. You know, I felt that what you have to do down here was frustrate, and that's what they did in the early part of the game. You know, really well organised, really disciplined, and not giving Rangers any glimpse. Well, they give them 4 glimpses right enough, but trying to frustrate them. They don't take their opportunities, and then it's then testing their character, isn't it? But Aberdeen getting the 3 goals, the 2 goals so far, almost a third there with that Clarkson delivery. But for me, I think midweek, get Duke back. He's such a threat, and he looks as though he's just finding his form again.
Yeah, my goodness.
From the Rangers' perspective, of the signings they've made, only the goalkeeper, I think, would get general approval from most of the supporters of Rangers. You know, and I don't know if he's been capable.
It's kicking off here at Easter Road. Cammy Kerr with a wild challenge, I have to say. Very high and unnecessary. I don't think it's a red card, but you know, it's so unnecessary that he may find himself off the pitch. I don't know. We'll wait and see on that one. And then the Hibs player Obita reacts, and it causes a little bit of a stramash. The Hibs players want him gone. I don't think he will go. I think it'll be a yellow card, but we'll wait and see. But game's burst into life all of a sudden.
That was a rash one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A strange one almost, because Kamikar gets there. Looks to me as if he was kind of putting the brakes on, and at the last minute decided maybe I'll try and get through him and leave a bit on him. But it's and both players have received a yellow card, which was
probably right, to be fair.
Going to get another look at it.
React. But just very unnecessary from Kamikar. I think he could have won the ball.
It's one back. No, a free kick's been given. No, the goal's been given. I thought he was maybe going to give the free kick there. It was a bit high loopy cross to the back post, and Tavernier gets on the end of it. Looks as though perhaps he's fouled the goalkeeper. Roos maybe not dealing with it particularly well. I think it's Sima. Is it Sima that gets it?
Yeah, it's Willie. Yeah, and they'll look at it. Don't get me wrong. They'll look at this. I'm just getting another replay of it just now. Kel Roos doesn't paint himself in glory.
No.
Yeah, Seema's with the finish. Tavernier's in there challenging as well. I don't know if it's Tavernier that comes together. No, there's no foul. There's no foul there for me, but they'll look at it, Willie, don't get me wrong. And there was one this afternoon in the early kick-off with Motherwell and Celtic, which ended up, actually Mugabe was offside, so there was no need to look at the challenge in the goalkeeper. But it would have been interesting to see what the outcome would have been had he not been offside. But I think this goal will stand.
Yeah. Kenny, I was at the game last year when Michael Beale was in the crowd when Van Bronckhorst was down the touchline, and with the way Michael Beale will be feeling right now, I wonder if he'll look back on that and think that he maybe got that wrong turning up, and watching the game when a manager was under pressure.
It looked poor, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think it'll look even worse now.
To go for Rangers, yep.
Goal for Arbroath at Gayfield. Mikey McKenna just lapping it up, trying to get the fans back on side. There's just one goal in it now. It's all sort of falling apart a little bit for Inverness Calipissel. Well worked goal, much better than the first. It's definitely Mikey McKenna with this one. A nice slotted effort into the far corner, into the side netting as well, leaving Mark Ridgers with absolutely no chance. Arbroath 2, Inverness Calipissel 3.
Yeah, you wouldn't fancy going into that dressing room after the game if they let that 3-goal lead slip. You'd have to say, can they hang on? Inverness Calipissel, Duncan Ferguson's first game in charge. So Seema with that goal on 75 minutes has Rangers back in it. They trail Aberdeen by 2-1. Newcastle United have gone 2-0 up at home to Burnley. Isak with the goal there on 76 minutes, and that Michael McKenna goal coming in on 79 minutes. Let's then get to Derek Ferguson down at Rugby Park. What's happening there, Derek?
It was a little lack of quality, I think, Kenny, in the final third. I mean, both teams, they're giving it their all. You couldn't fault them in terms of that. But I spoke about how well organised, how well drilled they are. But it's just a lack of quality. Both managers have made changes, certainly in the final third. But that's the difference here today. Nothing between the sides, Kenny. And if you think back to the goals anyway in the first half, there were 2 mistakes. Certainly the first one, you look at Dunn and the keeper, Simmons keeper, and then the own goal from McGuinness. So no surprise. You're just like kind of crying out for that little bit of magic, but unfortunately I don't think with the 22 players out there that they've probably got that, but you can't fault them for the effort they're giving.
Sorry, Fergie, can you have a look at this challenge? Gordon on Nubley, possible red card check.
Alright, okay, hopefully get a replay on it, get a look at it. It's all happening.
Well, it's been some afternoon, hasn't it?
Even I'm sitting here actually looking at the championship table, Kenny, and I was going to come to Billy, who's just obviously come out of it, but how difficult is it, other than Wraith Rovers and Dundee United, really the only 2 teams of late are Arbroath, it looks like their run's been halted, but to go and put a run of results together, because you're lucky at times if you get 2 and 3 games. Ayr United get battered off Partick Thistle, they then go and batter Queen's Park last week, and now they're getting beat again this week. It's impossible to call at times.
It's a brutal league, as you know, and you have to put a run together. Luckily, after all those injuries we had last season, we did.
Man, the referee's going to have a look at this. It might actually be Holt, but I thought it was a heavy challenge by Gordon on Nubley, but Holt has been yellow carded. So let's have a look. The referee is over now.
I've not seen it yet.
Having a look at the screen.
Seen the referee on our pictures, certainly. Hopefully it'll give us a wee...
Just quickly, Kenny, that the reflection of the Dundee United impact in this league, the attendance in here today is 7,236, and maybe just a couple hundred or so Queen's Park supporters, so there's a demand to see United getting themselves a response to that at the top of the league.
Yeah, Alan, there's not an awful lot of contact, I would need to say. The force that Gordon comes in, Nubley kind of rides the challenge and kind of jumps out of it. He's stud showing, he's got a straight leg, but as I say, there's not an awful lot of contact, so
within 5 seconds
it could go either way
as well. Holt has been booked out, so I'm just wondering, it's definitely that one, Leanne. Is it Gordon or Newbley?
Yeah, it's Gordon. If he gets shown a red, I think you can probably see why, just because, as I say, the force, the straight leg. If Newbley doesn't ride the challenge, he could come off with a real sore one.
He's still looking. He must have. Here we go. He's going to flit us.
Yeah, I think he's going
to
see red. I've just saw a still of it as well.
Yeah, it's a straight red. Liam Gordon's off.
Yeah, I don't think he can have too many complaints, Alan. You'll hopefully get a look at it shortly.
You see that again.
Peterhead 5, Elgin City 0. Kieran Shanks on 82 minutes. Dennis Muir 2, Clyde Toole, a Lynch own goal on 80 minutes there. East Fife 1, Forfar Athletic 1. Stuart Morrison equalising for Forfar on 82 minutes. And Montrose have equalised away at Falkirk. Graham Webster from the penalty spot on 85 minutes. Let's get back to Ibrox. Could be a big story developing there this afternoon. Could be a fantastic day for the Dons, Willie Miller.
Yeah, and they played well, and if they did take the 3 points, they would have deserved it. But Rangers are fighting back, even with the 10 men. They're making a good fist of it. They've got that one goal back, so they've narrowed the lead yet again. But it's going to be difficult for them. The Dons now, in the Rangers half. Duke has come on as well, so he's popped up front, so there's no doubt that Barry Robson will be looking to take advantage of any gaps that Rangers might leave in their pursuit of getting back into this game. And Aberdeen have won corner after corner, and they've got another corner as well. In every corner, Lane Clarkson just walks over there. You know where it's going to be. You know as a defender that you're going to have to work really hard to defend it, because his deliveries are absolutely top notch. And he's walking over again, so Rangers on the back foot. They're trying to fight their way back into it. They've got that one goal, but it's a mountain for them to climb now. And to be perfectly honest, do they deserve it? Well, with 10 men, if they could get an equaliser, I think that would be a great fight back, but it's looking less likely as this game goes, last 10, maybe 15 minutes to go with time added on.
Let's then get to the Highlands. Ross County been poor this afternoon. Billy Dodds. Could be a great week for Hearts and Stephen Naismith.
Yeah, certainly could. And you just see the confidence that result against Kilmarnock has brought them into this game, and they have deserved it. They've stuck in. They've not played their best. Neither have County. As I said, they've looked two tired teams, but they've got the all-important breakthrough. I think Forrest did. It was a County defender, Liam was talking about it, going in to try and clear it, but he sort of kicked it against Forrest's shoulder, I think it was, and it ended up bundling into the net. But Hearts deserve leaders so far, but it's not quite over yet, Kenny.
Any sign of the stalemate being broken at Easter Road, Rory Loy?
I mean, it's been teetering on the edge for most of the match, to be honest. Hibs will be ruined. Bad decision making in the final third. They've had an unbelievable amount of headed chances. I thought I was going to get the opportunity to steal Alan Preston's fish in the net line, because he headed over from very, very close range when he should have done better. But it is, not a lot of good play by Hibs on the deck, cutting through Dundee. It's all been cross balls, corners, and Dundee defended very resolutely indeed. So I still think there's a goal in this game. To who, I'm not quite sure, but it remains 0-0.
Was that a Willie Miller sigh there?
It was Duke being sized down by Conor Golson there on the halfway line. He had no chance. Golson, experienced player, he reckons, I've no chance against this whippet. So he just wipes him out completely in the halfway line and takes a yellow card for the team.
What you've got to love about Conor Golson is that it's always someone else's fault, Willie, isn't it?
That's brilliant. He must be watching my old videos.
He's probably watched me as well, to be fair. Lammers is giving the ball away, which I totally get. It's careless in his own his attacking third. But Golson could have just dropped off the game. Why would he get sucked into that with Duke and have to give away that cynical foul? But that's not what Michael Beale's needing from his key players as well, and his leadership players is pointing the finger at other folk.
Yeah, you're right. You've got to give yourself maybe 5-10 yards against the pace of Duke as well. If he thinks quickly and he gets himself back the park, that would have been a way to deal with it. But You know, when you're out there and you're getting beaten, your team's going through. Oh, another opportunity here. Johnny Hayes set up Duke. Johnny Hayes. Oh, it's a great save. Oh, another chance from McKenzie. It's off the bar. It's in.
Oh my goodness!
It's the third goal. It's the third goal for Aberdeen. Jack McKenzie gets the finishing touch in off the bar. He's over celebrating with the Aberdeen fans. What a day it is for the Reds.
Wow, and celebrating over there in front of the away fans. They are absolutely delighted. Huge celebrations in the pouring rain there at Ibrox, Leigh and Crichton. We've said this since about midway through the first half. A big story developing there at Ibrox.
Yeah, there's been a big story developing throughout the day, and to be fair, I called it after the Celtic late winner that there's at times in the season we'll look at days and games and key moments. And that was a huge key moment at Fir Park this afternoon, and this at Ibrox is another key moment. Jack Butland does so well with the first one, Willie, and his defenders are nowhere to be seen for the second one. James Tavernier, I think, has got to do more. He's got to close the space, he's got to stop the shot. He does neither.
I don't know how this game is 0-0 at Easter Road. I cannot work out for the life of me. Luke McCowan,
come on.
Luke McCowan does unbelievably well to fend off Martin Boyle down the right-hand touchline. He makes it all the way down the side. He cuts it back, and Owen Beck arrives and catches it so sweet on the volley, and it's straight at David Marshall. Honestly, if he scuffs it, if he gets any contact on it, it's probably rolling in the corner. But beautiful move. And then Hibs right up the other end. Eli Johan's played and it's cut back to Boyle. 9 times out of 10 you'd put your mortgage on him at least hitting the target. Completely misses it, or miskicks it even, and somehow in front of 16,793 fans it remains 0-0.
It was nearly 2 here as well. It was a brilliant breakaway from Hearts, and Boyce just with an exquisite ball cut the Ross County defence open. Lowry Gusau turns back inside, left foot bending shot, and Laidlaw somehow got a glove on it and touched it past the post. Still 1-0 Hearts.
There's a goal check at Ibrox, Willie. It's a possible offside, but I'm getting a look at it now. I don't see too much wrong. I know there was claims for a foul on Borna Barisic with the initial kind of first contact on the switch of play.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
Yeah, there's a lot
just before. Yeah, there's a lot of action, a lot of players running into an offside position. But are they interfering? Are they in a position that you would say they would be offside?
Yeah, I didn't see too much wrong with it. I would need to say, Willie, looking at it, but
did it flash
goal?
Up? Goal.
Yeah.
I mean, what's happening there, Willie? Paint the picture. Are the Rangers fans streaming out?
Oh, snow and Dyke. The snow is melting off the Dyke.
Yeah.
As the fans. Oh, what a strike that is! A good save at the other end. It's a strike that Kel Roos had to deal with, and it was Jack McKenzie that managed to clear it as well. But no, they're leaving. They're leaving in their droves, to be perfectly honest. Kenny, it's about half full, the stand to my right hand side, right across from me, maybe 3/4, but draining away. As they're still pushing towards the Aberdeen goal, but no, the fans are not happy. And the other side, about a quarter, and they're just streaming down to get out of this place, and rightly so. If you're going to get beat at home, with a 3-1 margin, then I don't think the fans are going to take that too well, are they? They're going to be hugely disappointed.
Yeah, particularly given the rivalry, Willie, as you touched on
that could be
earlier.
The final nail in the coffin, Kenny.
Do you think so? Can you see him
that's
surviving
a massive game against Aberdeen. We know the history. We'll not go into all that. There's a lot of needle between the two sides, and the Rangers fans, that means a hell of a lot to them. And to see them fail again miserably today, and the performances, they have been poor. And he's got away with it to a certain extent with the results, but at home against, and it's a good Aberdeen side, but even with the injuries that Rangers have got, you would still think, with what the manager supposedly had brought to the club, that we would have enough to see an Aberdeen
chance. He's volleyed it over. I think it's Brophy at the far post. Wait to see this one, Leanne. I mean, it's practically their only decent chance in the game. County, they play a free kick from Henderson away to the back post. Baldwin wins it, knocks it back across goal, and you would, if anybody wanted there as a County fan, you would want Brophy, and he somehow volleys it into the ground and over the crossbar.
Yeah, it's a big chance. I was just going to say that, Billy. It looked as if he fired it into the grass. He's unmarked as well. He's got more time than he even believes he's got, I think. Just compose yourself. He tries to take the leather off the ball. I actually think he just needs to guide it.
It's all kicking off at McDermott Park. Stevie May's just been yellow carded. It's a race between him and Holt. Holt goes down. The referee doesn't give the foul. Davy Martindale then kicks the ball away. Brilliant. Then the referee decides, all right, I'll give a foul now. May reacts, he kicks the ball away, so he's yellow carded. We're into 7 added on minutes. Livingston a lot better in the second half, far better side. St Johnstone 1, Livingston 1.
Callum Morrison looks to have won it for Falkirk lately on 93rd minute goal. Falkirk 3, Montrose 2, Spartans 2, Bolingrose 2, full-time. Partick Thistle 3 to Fairmont
well,
0.
Kenny, and Dundee's long wait for a win at Easter Road continues. However, it's the next best thing anyway, as they pick up a point. It finishes Hibs 0, Dundee 0.
8 minutes added on at Ibrox.
How many, Willie, sorry?
8 minutes.
8 minutes
and
there's 5 here in Dingwall.
Yeah,
Thanks, Billy.
That was Kelly's best moment in the second half, just breaking down the right hand side. The ball played into Polworth. It's a difficult, just kind of sits up for him, just doesn't quite get over it. But you know, as I said earlier, Kenny, lots of effort, but just seeing the final third, no quality.
Would a draw be a fair result there, Derek?
Yeah, absolutely, Kenny.
Yeah, come on, of course they have lost a lot of late goals. The manager called them naive during the week with some of the defending. It certainly was. It handed Hearts a victory in the League Cup quarter-final, and as a result, as Billy Dodge was saying, you can see the confidence in this Hearts side this afternoon. They are winning away at Ross County. We're into stoppage time in most of these games this afternoon. In terms of St Johnstone, Alan Preston, they're a club very close to you. You've had concerns since the start of the season. It's looking really, really dire for Steve McLean's side right now.
It is, and if they lose a goal in the last few minutes, Kenny, here with Aberdeen's result, they're cut adrift. They're well adrift. Livingston have got a lot better in the second half. Credit to Davy Martindale, they've been the better side. St Johnstone looked fragile. We're 1-0 up at half time. As soon as Livy equalised, that was it. Now they're even down to 10 men, so they're hanging on for a draw here. I still don't think draws aren't good enough. Livingston are clubs that you're going to be in and around. You know, you've got tough games coming up. St Johnstone again. Is a draw good enough at home? Not so sure, but we'll wait and see. But it's 1-1, still minutes to play though.
Alan, did you get a chance to see the red card again?
Yeah, I think it's a red card. Yeah, and I've got to agree with you. I think it is.
Right, full-time score.
Full-time, Kenny. Tannadice. It's finished. Dundee United 4, Queen's Park 1, despite Queen's going ahead in the first minute with Jack Thompson. Tony Watt, Scott McMahon, a second for Watt, and Kai Fotheringham scoring the goals for United in front of so well over 7,000 inside Tannadice, and United top the championship table tonight.
Yeah, title favourites are living up to that billing as things stand. Full-time scoreline also in the championship. Ayr United 1, Wraith Rovers 2. What a season it has been for Rovers, you would have to say. Full-time Alloa 1, Edinburgh City 1. We got that full-time from Rory. It's now come through. Hibs 0, Dundee 0. Peterhead have thumped Elgin City by 6 goals to 0. Hamish Ritchie with the latest goal there on 94 minutes. That's now a full-time. Also full-time, East Fife 1, Forfar Athletic 1, Stennismuir 2, Clyde 2. Falkirk have beaten Montrose. That late goal from Callum Morrison, 3 goals to 2 there. That's right up to date.
And Hearts have beaten County. They've held on. The final score here is Ross County 0, Hearts 1.
Thanks to Billy Dodds. That's a big week for Stephen Naismith. I saw him after the game down at Rugby Park on Tuesday, and he could see that at least there was a banner from the Hearts fans behind the goal there. They were demanding better, and they've got it from their side over these past 2 games. Kelty Hearts 3, Queen of the South 1. Michael Tidser with the latest goal there on 94 minutes. Morton 0, Airdrie 1. That's a full time. It's also
a
full
win
time
for
to
Duncan Ferguson. Inverness Cally Thistle hold on and beat Arbroath 3-2 at Gayfield.
Yeah, big win for the new Inverness Cally Thistle manager. 29 years out of the game in Scotland. He returns as manager and returns with a win. We heard from him pre-match there at Gayfield, that despite a spirited fight back from the home side there. Full-time Dumbarton 3, Stranraer 1. Still playing at Ibrox. Willie Miller.
Yeah, they're still playing. As Jensen that's went down in the box, he's had to have a little bit of treatment, so this will carry on for a little bit of time yet. It's Rangers that have got the corner. They're putting pressure on, trying to get something back in this game. Still 3-1 down, of course, so a long way back, but we must still have about 5 minutes to play in this game. So, you know, what happened at the Motherwell Celtic game, then you can't. Oh, it's a header and it's just by the post. It's Sima with the header. He got up well on that occasion, but the direction was wrong. But it looks as though it's going to be that victory for Aberdeen.
Full time, Kenny. Kilmarnock 1, St Mirren 1.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, Derek saying that's a fair reflection there. Brad Lyons with the opener for Killie on 19 minutes. A Kyle McGuinness own goal on 31 minutes. Alan Forrest with a goal on 69 minutes has given Hearts a victory 1-0 away at Ross County. It finished Hibs 0, Dundee 0 at Easter Road. At lunchtime, the guys touched on it there. Incredible drama at Fir Park. Celtic scoring the winner in the 97th minute after Blair Spittle had equalised for the home side on 95 minutes. It's still playing at McDermott Park. Alan Preston.
We are. It can't be long to go now, Kenny. We've had 7 added on minutes. We've had a booking since then, a couple of free kicks. So just up to whatever the referee, Graham Granger, adds on now. Livingston far better in the second half. St Johnstone hanging on for a point here, down to 10 men. St Johnstone, they should see it through and get that point, but you know what, is a point good enough just now? I'm not so sure. Livingston forcing the issue, keep going forward. Davies made a lot of changes, as has Stevie McLean now. He's had to. Some have been enforced as well, but it looks like we could be a point apiece here.
Yeah, it got to be another manager under pressure. Yes, Willie.
They're checking for a penalty here for Rangers. I didn't think it was. No,
was it wasn't. Together, really?
And Roos got he got the touch on it as well, just to come together. So it's waved away, and play continues.
Full time at McDermott. St Johnstone 1, Livingston 1.
Right, let's get straight then to commentary at Ibrox with Kenny Miller and Liam McLeod.
So he's not getting any that he likes anyway. And Aberdeen have a free kick, that just wastes away some more time for the Dons, whose supporters over there are just a few minutes away from celebrating a rare league success in Glasgow at either of Rangers or Celtic stadiums. There have been victories at Firhill against Partick Thistle, but when it comes to the big two, they've been few and far between. And Barry Robson, although they've rode their luck in the first half at times early on in proceedings, he'll feel that their displays deserved it because they've been ruthless today. Here is Connor Goldson, who passes it short to John Lundstrom. Long ball from him, looking for Lovelace. Underneath it's McDonald. Cam, measured touch there from Angus McDonald with the chest. And he's put it straight to Tavernier. 8 minutes of stoppage time was added on at the end. We're going into just about the final minute of the allotted stoppages. There will be time added on top for that penalty check Rangers had a moment ago, as Barisic finds Cifuentes, bends the ball in, away by Slobodan Rubičić to the edge of the box where Shinnie takes it down. Shinnie leaves it for Jamie McGrath, who's been brilliant today. Here's Barron rolling it to Jack McKenzie on the near side. McKenzie now attacking Connor Goldson. Duke's waiting in the middle. It's a chip ball by McKenzie. Can't find a teammate though, and it goes behind for the goal kick for Rangers. 3-1 Aberdeen. Willie Miller's been watching this for Open All Mics, and Willie, they've rode their luck. I was just saying to Kenny, at times Rangers have had gilt-edged opportunities today, but even your team that came here in the 1980s to such great success would have had at times to ride your luck. I'm sure Jim Leighton made plenty saves along the way to results here.
Not too many, to be perfectly honest, but I totally agree. I totally agree with that comment. I mean, 4 really good chances in the first half hour, and if Rangers would have taken them, then absolutely it would be a different game, but they didn't. Aberdeen were trying to frustrate. They grew in the game. They got their goals as well, and then when Rangers looked as though perhaps they might get themselves back into the game, they struck yet again. So you've scored 3 goals down here. Rode your luck a little bit in the first half, but to be able to do that, and it's looking like a 3-1 victory on the back of some very decent performances recently for Aberdeen, then I'm sure Barry Robson will be delighted with the performance and the result.
September 1997 was the last time Aberdeen scored 3 goals here at Ibrox. They've done it today. That was a draw. This is going to be a victory, and it's in the post, and it's going to be theirs very soon. That's rolled out over on the far side for a Rangers throw-in right in front of the ecstatic Aberdeen supporters. We're in added time now. We're in a 9th minute of stoppage time at Ibrox. The rain continuing to tumble down here south of the Clyde. Short throw in McGrath to Barron. Back to McGrath down by the corner flag. Andy wins his team. No, goal kick it was. It looked like a corner initially. And it's a goal kick to Rangers. Time just about up. And a miserable afternoon it's been for the home team. And just what will it mean for Michael Beale in the grand scheme of things? Under huge pressure before their recent 4-game winning run. The defeats to PSV in the Champions League playoff and to Celtic in the derby here. Does he survive a 3-1 home defeat to Aberdeen? Here's Lundstrom down the right hand side for Lovelace, level with the Aberdeen penalty spot. Dying seconds. Lovelace into the box for Lammers, who sees it behind for the corner of Rubedzic. Rangers, though, if they score now, it will surely just be consolation. We're beyond 5 o'clock here as we welcome FM listeners to us here at Ibrox, away by Lammers. This is going to be a seismic result in the Scottish Premiership this season as Aberdeen come away in the counter with Duke. Tavernier trying to stay with him. Duke holding him off. He's got support from Garteman if he can find him. The ball comes into the box, but it comes all the way to Butland. Garteman can't get onto it. It stays 3-1. We're now almost 10 minutes have now been played of stoppage time. There was a penalty check, there were substitutions. For 1 minute past 5, we're going to see this a lot.
This is going to be the last action of the game, there's no doubt about it. Anything that comes to this is going to be consolation.
Tavernier for Rangers. Aberdeen will celebrate shortly. Lovelace goes back to Lundstrom, rolls it to the overlapping Barisic. Left foot ball comes in. Rubedzic beat Lammers to it in the air. Tavernier keeps it going, and still the game rages on. And Ibrox is more than half empty now. It's Barisic sends it in, breaks to Sima. He can't score. Roos came out, made himself big. The defender did well too. I think it was McDonald, and he goes behind for a goal kick. And I think 2 players are going to require attention here. It was Sima attacking it. McDonald and Roos came to deny him. The man who scored Rangers' goal. But it stays 10-man Rangers 1, Aberdeen 3.
Yeah, across the Barisic, just found its way onto Sima's thigh. It looked like you could maybe just stretch and maybe get his left foot on it to direct it into the goal, but between Roos and McDonald, they've done enough to see it wide, and I think Roos has taken a heavy one from his from his own defender, McDonald. I think his knees actually caught him maybe in around the head or the face. So brave defending, brave goalkeeping, and that should be us game over once this goal kick comes back into play.
Willie, this is a massive result for Aberdeen, huge.
Yeah, I mean it's turning their season round, isn't it? The last week, 10 days or so, you know, the results, the performances have been fantastic. Before that, you could see that there was good players, you know, in that side, but they weren't, you know, working. They weren't as organised. They weren't, you know, the teamwork was poor. But they put it all together since the Eintracht Frankfurt game. That showed you the signs of what might be going forward. And then against Ross County, obviously 2 very good performances. But this one down here this afternoon, first class. Yes, rode their luck early in the game, but you know, since about the half-hour mark, then it's been about Aberdeen. Aberdeen have been the better team. They've created the better chances. They've scored the goals. And to be perfectly honest, Rangers are looking round. Don't see too many leaders out there. I don't see many you know, outstanding players either. I think they've lost their way a little bit in this game, and I don't know what's going to happen to the manager, because the pressure was on before this game, albeit on the back of some good results. But now at home, falling 3-1 to Aberdeen with the pressure already on, we just have to wait and see.
Kellaroos is back in his feet, and he's going to eventually take this goal kick. Right-footed, and it's a long one. Stephen McLean continues to play on. We've played, is that 13 minutes now of stoppage time?
I think he's lost his watch, Liam. I think that's what it is.
There's Hayes with the dummy, McKenzie. That's it, it's all over, and Aberdeen win at Ibrox! What a result for the men in red! Barry Robson shakes hands with Michael Beale, who looks beleaguered down there, and little wonder they hadn't lost a league game here against a team other than Celtic since March 2020, when Hamilton won 1-0. But they've been well beaten in the end here by Aberdeen. The heroic performance from them today. They had to survive those early Rangers chances, most notably for Dessers and Cifuentes. But when Gartenman gave them the lead, they didn't really look back from that point. A magnificent afternoon for Barry Robson and his players, and whilst the Rangers defeat will clearly get headlines, Aberdeen have produced when it mattered here. It's just a 5th victory in a league game against Rangers or Celtic away in 104 attempts. Gartenman's goal had them in front at the break. Jamie McGrath on his birthday, no less, making it 2 on 68. Sima gave Rangers hope after Scott Wright was shown a second yellow against his old club. Well, perhaps will have made it an even sweeter afternoon for the Aberdeen fans, before Jack McKenzie rubber stamped the victory as the Aberdeen players celebrate with their fans over on the far side. The Rangers players down there are applauding what's left of their support here at Ibrox. But this is not a happy place right now. It is not a happy camp. And this could be a serious sliding doors afternoon in the 23-24 Scottish Premiership title race, on an afternoon when Celtic won in the 7th minute of stoppage time at Motherwell in the early kick-off, when it looked like they were about to drop points. Rangers lose at home to Aberdeen. It finishes here, 10-man Rangers 1,